Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing BANT Beanstalk with a light black splash for Rakshas's Bargain. This is a brand new card that allows you to dig deep into your deck. You look at the top 4 cards, you put 2 of them in your hand, 2 of them in your graveyard. It's an instant, and it can be cast for as little as 3 mana, but it does trigger Beanstalk. So this is structured around getting Beanstalk out. We have Uro to survive, we have Endurance to survive, we just don't want to die, and then eventually we take over the game by creating clues, by loaming and wastelanding our opponents, by just getting Uro going, or through a giant Murktide. So tale as old as time, Murktide coming down and ending games quickly and abruptly. So the sideboard is geared around survival as well. We have a Terminus in here, we've got an extra prismatic ending, which is really good against, say, Elvish Reclaimer decks. We have 4 Forces of Negations. It's important not to die. We have 3 Hydroblast. Stompy is probably our worst matchup, so we want to have these. And we also have 2 Force of Vigor. These are very good against Stompy. These are awesome against Painter decks, especially like this new blue Painter deck that everybody's playing. We've got a Ground Seal, is some graveyard respect. We have Lavinia. She is pretty powerful against Sneak and Show type decks. And we've got 2 Carpet of Flowers because our deck is incredibly mana hungry. Let's talk about the mana base. We're playing 20 lands, including a Xander's Lounge that can give us the domain we need for Leyline binding. We don't need to have it, but it does reduce the cost. And Rakshas's Bargain, it can reduce the cost of Rakshasa if we pay a black mana to cast this. I'm very excited about having these carpets in here because if we get one out, essentially we invalidate Tempo Plan, and Tempo is probably the strongest deck right now. I was looking at a recent challenge and a lot of blue-black Tempo and Delver in the top 4. So I expect we're going to be encountering some of that. Again, we do have these Wastelands, but these are for utility lands. We're not going to be wasting Delver or wasting blue-black Tempo. In fact, we're going to side these out in most occasions. So let's dive in. We're going to play a full 5 rounds. As always, see you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against Waka Rock, second cousin of Fraggle Rock. We have an okay hand if they have a tempo start. So conventional wisdom is they won't waste you if you already have something on the table. I'm going to keep this, and I'm just going to try to get in with Tamiyo here. Our opponent has played Reanimator in the past, but that was like many months ago, and they may not be playing it since it did have a key card banned out of it. I like this hand because it has Tamiyo Brainstorm. I won't like this hand if my opponent wastes me any land, and we can rumble and find land number 3 most likely, and fill up the yard for Murktide. Force on our Tamiyo. Okay. Aggressive. Please don't waste me. All right. Thank goodness. So we do have Brainstorm to hopefully find a land. Brainstorm does not always work, but we have essentially 21 mana sources in our deck. Interesting. They're very aggressive use of the Force there. But they had a very strong hand. Whenever you have Mishra's Bauble and Dragon Rage Channeler in your hand, it's strong. They opted to keep their top card. Makes me wonder what it is. Maybe it's a Wasteland. Gosh, what if they have Daze for my Brainstorm? It's going to look so desperate, isn't it? Well, we're going to go for it. Don't daze me, bro. All right, we got there. So I think we just immediately ponder here. Cards that are not as important. I think we're a little ways from casting this. I'd like to have it later. Leyline binding similarly. Yeah, I'm going to go get a Tundra and just ponder. I could get a Savannah and ponder, but no, I'm going to keep up my cards. We are filling our graveyard quite quickly for a Murktide. Yeah, I'm going to get Tundra. Like, I am playing a minimum number of basics in this deck because I just accept that in a lot of cases I'm going to get wasted a lot. This is a Plow, but like, let's face it. We're totally screwed if they waste us. I'm going to shuffle this. That may seem conservative. There we go. We got a land. They may not have the waste, but once they have a Delirious Delver on the table, like their game plan almost always involves wasting you to buy time so they can just deal damage. Okay, they didn't have it. Okay, so this is probably Seek the Beast. That's pretty good. I want to rumble, and I could get dazed, but it doesn't matter. I can just play out the Mystic Sanctuary if I don't find a better land. But Mystic Sanctuary will be good later. The other option is, I think rumble into Uro is like practically unbeatable against their deck. Like, it's really hard for them to compete with Uro. They may go ahead and seek trying to find a daze. And if we find a land, we're days proof for the rest of the game, basically, because we'll just keep this token around. Yeah, there's the Seek the Beast. So I correctly anticipated what my opponent was doing. Cards going into exile are hopefully not Murktide, but they don't yet have enough mana for enough cards for Murktide. A sorcery in the graveyard, and they would be able to keep up with me. They're considering dumping the top card. If I put an Uro into the yard, then I could just, potentially brainstorm this one away. But that would involve me also finding, okay, so this resolves. They opted to keep it. Oh, wait, they put a Scalding Tarn into their graveyard. Okay, so this resolves. They have Ponder and Valk. Or wait, it doesn't necessarily resolve. Okay, it does. Beanstalk. And we put a ton of goodies in our yard. So we get the thing. I'm going to go ahead and play this out. I just want a critical mass of mana. Now we have guaranteed DRC Murktide next turn. And this is game one where they're unlikely to have access to Pyroblast. They're going to play this out first, and then they can cast the Ponder and buff their creature a little bit. The Ponder will make DRC delirious. I'm just going to... If I rip a land, I might go ahead and get greedy and play the Murktide into a Daze. Let's see what they do here. Yeah, that Questing Druid was a 3-for-1. It's pretty good. Issues Bob into the yard. Okay. So they are delirious. They've got a large graveyard, but they don't have a lot of instants and sorceries yet. So Murk is not necessarily going to be huge. By the way, this is why you don't play Bug Bean. Like, this is the reason to play Bant Beans instead of Bug Beans, is matchups like this. Like, Uro is really strong. And Uro is at his best in Bant, in my opinion. He's not as good in Bug. There was a while where I was playing Bug Beans with Uro, or it was like Bug mid-range. It wasn't even Beanstalk, because Tamiyo was out and Psychic Frog was out. But now I think the better Uro deck is probably this one that we're playing with Bant. So we may have time to just Uro and get some lands, but a lot of it's going to depend on what we find on this draw. I do want to make a land drop this turn. What I might do is just Beanstalk to gain a little bit of edge, and they may press pretty hard, hoping to kill us, but Uro is going to dig us out. I just want to be sure that I don't Uro into nothing. That would suck. Like, I need to make sure I have a land for the turn. I guess I could Ponder and then play the Uro out after I found my land for the turn, and if I find 2 lands, that's even better, because then I could potentially put both lands into play. 15 life, still reasonable life total against Over. Xander's Lounge. Okay, that's not too bad. So we have a guaranteed land drop here. I'm kind of tempted to ponder. I don't think they're likely to Daze Uro. I'm going to Ponder and see if I can find another land. I just want to dramatically expand the amount of land we have. Okay, we do find a land, and we found another Beanstalk, but I don't think that matters that much. Could matter. I think I'm going to opt to keep this around just in case I need it for days. I'm going to go get a Savannah here. Since we've already got the Mystic Sanctuary, it doesn't really hurt to get Savannah here just to make sure we have redundancy in our colors. We're going to go ahead and go for Uro. And then we can use that to put in Xander's Lounge. Questing Druid can get big enough to beat down the Uro, but we're likely to find interaction by then. It didn't feel great shuffling away the Beanstalk, but I have heart that I'm going to be able to escape Uro here. I don't think they have any graveyard disruption in their deck. We already have face up enough mana to bring Uro back. They may waste Green Source, in which case then we would need to probably Beanstalk and then Murk, both of which we'll be able to do around days, even if they waste us. Force? What? That's crazy to me. Okay, well, yeah, that works. I'm not going to stop it. So what they're banking on is that they can just kill us really quickly. But that is a pretty costly force. I mean, this was just going to die. We were going to draw a card and get some life and put our Xander's Lounge into play. So they do get to buff their Druid. If they have a bunch of bolts in their hand, I can cycle that. I can't play it. Yeah, we'll just pass. Next turn, Uro definitely comes back. Like, I think that's got to happen because we're going to be pretty low in life. I think playing Murktide is a little riskier. And I'm going to hold the Eldrazi spawn token until... Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to use this spawn, I guess. But it did save me 3 life there. I mean, not as much as it would have saved, but it was a 2-for-1. They're being very aggressive with the resources. We haven't even cast Beanstalk yet, which is the card generally you want to force. They did see the Beanstalk too. We revealed it when we put it in our handoff rumble. They've been a daze. I mean, maybe they can just make the Questing Druid gigantic this turn. But we are taking 7 here, so we're on a 2-turn clock. If they can force Uro, that actually means we're dead. Uro coming back, probably losing to Questing Druid, because by then they could probably make Questing Druid big enough. I'm getting some server lag. I just want to let it be known that I'm playing as fast as I can if I time out. It's the server lag's fault. We spent like 30 seconds looking at this spinner. I haven't had any server lag in a long time. Okay, so I had to tether off my phone because my internet went out. An inauspicious start to the league. This could be a Murk. That is a lot of pressure, and that also explains why they were so aggressive about killing Uro. So let's think about this. So 6/6, we can put a bigger one up, but it's not enough to stop them completely. All right, so options. One, we could brainstorm, and then we could Murk, but we need a... Yeah, I'm going to do that. We've got to change the composition of our hand. Beanstalk is no longer good enough. We're dead. Yeah, we're dead, unfortunately. Okay, let's jump to the next game. No point in putting more time into this game. Yeah, that was a really unfortunate brainstorm. We are playing 20 lands plus the Lorien revealed. So that is a lot of mana. But I'm not playing any days. So my philosophy is if you're going to play like a lot of lands, you shouldn't play days. And if you play days, you shouldn't play a lot of lands. Okay, so Carpet comes in for sure. Hydroblast come in. Prismatic Ending is definitely great here. And I think that's it. The cards that come out, we're going to take out our Loam. Do we want to take out we want to take out the Wastelands for sure. I could take out the Loam. Often I take out the Loam package when I take out the Wastelands. Let me think about this for a second. Tamiyo is pretty bad against them because they have Pyroblast and Bolts. I want to take all of our Tamiyos out. She doesn't really help us survive. She helps us rebuild after we've already survived. I could take out the Loam. Yeah, because like at the very best, it gets back a few lanes. And it is slow. Yeah, I'll go like that. You might think like, oh, Terminus should come in here. But often I lose to like a single, creature that they've protected. Terminus is more for like Eldrazi, which I've faced Eldrazi like 3 times in the last 24 hours. And Actually, I don't think I won any of those games. I won some games, but I didn't win any of the matches. So Eldrazi is apparently still a deck. Although, we'll see. I feel like you can combat it with Terminus now rather than dedicated cards like Consign to Memory. Okay, so I submitted my thing, but it's not getting picked up. I have to restart Magic, and there's a decent chance my sideboard did not get submitted. Okay, so it's loading up, and we should see pretty quickly as soon as it loads whether our sideboard actually got loaded. Okay, it worked. Our sideboard did get in. That's great. This is a great hand. I'm going to keep it. I'm just going to start with this, and then I can surveil. Then next turn, I can potentially go up to Beanstalk, or I can take it slow. Fetching. All right, got the slow start from Delver. That's good. Not going to live in fear. That is precisely the kind of card we want to put in our graveyard for later. So it feels good to have the Uro in there. I'm going to go ahead and go for Beanstalk here, and I'll force to protect it. I assume there's going to be a Day Zero force here. Oh, what? Okay. All right. All righty. We're doing pretty good here at this game. Unbelievable that they didn't interact with that. Like, they have 8 free counter spells in the deck. I can't imagine they sideboarded them out. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just go like this. This will be a problem for them for the rest of the game. The only thing they can do really is bounce it back to hand if this resolves. All right, they are getting a land. All right, I'm going to force this. I'm just going to Hydro that. I'll force pitch Uro if this gets countered, or to ensure this resolves. Because I do want Lorien in case they start wasting me, because that is a way we could lose if they counter our Carpet somehow, and then. But there's no reason why they wouldn't have forced or dazed the Beanstalk. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just force this. Okay, we drew an Endurance, which is another just banger card against them. Take a daze here. They just scoop. All right, that felt great. Like being on the play against Delver is pretty powerful. All right, I don't think we make any changes. Yeah, increasingly, the more I think about it, the more I think it does make sense to take out Tamiyo here. Like, all these other cards are good. They're green. I guess that doesn't matter too much. But, like, basically, they help advance our plan of delaying the game. At its core, Tamiyo is really like a tempo card. It's played best. It's best in tempo decks, I think. But I still think it's good here because we need early stuff we can do. And when I say here, I mean in this deck. This is a 3-land hit. I'm going to keep this. I'll just open with the Sanctuary, assuming they don't have anything too explosive. If they play a DRC, I'll go ahead and attempt to end it. Yeah, I'm going to end this. Don't have the freaking bubble. All right, thank goodness. Okay, I think we want to go get a Tundra, and then if they interact here, I think I do force to get this out of play because this just gives them so much value. It sucks to use force that way, but like, oh wow. All right, great. So, assuming they don't waste us, we have lots of things we can do here. It's fine. I originally had 2 prismatic endings, and maybe we want to add it back in. I swapped it out for a Terminus, just because Terminus seemed like it'd be good in a lot of these Eldrazi matchups, and it's not particularly good. That's a good draw. Okay, so we could go get... We're 2 mana away from being able to cast this. I think I want to shuffle away this Mystic Sanctuary. I'm going to see... I could go get a Savannah here if I find a Plow. I do want to get rid of this. I don't need 2 bindings, but again, like... That will be pretty good if I go get the... if they don't waste me. If they do waste me, I've still got Malevolent Rumble next turn. Yeah, I'll just go like that, and we'll pass. Malevolent Rumble is very good. I do think I go get the Triumph. So even if they flip, we're not going to take that much damage. The card revealed is Pyroblast. Okay, that's good to know about. That does not blast Endurance, notably. Don't you dare waste me, please. Ponder. Yeah, because if I get the thing, then next turn I can Rumble first, and then that gives me a thing that I can use to Daze Protect my binding. This will get the Xander's Lounge. This will get the Savannah. No! Oh, yeah, that's okay. Do I care? I don't think I do. They're not going to be able to crew it. They can go after my graveyard. I'll eventually get rid of this. I just want to survive. This could come back to bite me later. Again, I'm going to be stocking on my graveyard pretty quickly here. Lounge. So we could Rumble, and then we could bind this, and then just take 3 again, and then we're close to getting Uro out. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. We already have the Trop. We can hold this for later. Blue, green, Rumble. Want to put a Uro in the yard probably. Oh, Endurance. It's freaking nuts. Great card. Okay. They know about it now. I'm just going to bind, I think, just so I can get closer to Uro. Yeah, it feels so good to be able to cast that for 1 mana. I did try playing a league with a version that had just like... It couldn't go all the way down to... It didn't have Xander's Lounge in it because I didn't like Xander's Lounge. I will force to protect this, by the way. I think it's important. They'll almost certainly waste my... And then we'll just pass. Even if they create a giant Murk, I could, conceivably race that. I'm certain I'm getting Wastelanded here. There's no way they let me get away without it. 4 cards in hand. They probably Murk here. This is like one of the last chances to Murk before I nuke their graveyard. It'll be a 5/5. I think I force pitching Brainstorm, and then I can start Uroing if they go for it. And that will tap them out of Pyroblast unless they also have a land in hand that they haven't played out yet. That's fine. Oh no! Double Wasteland. Well, that's not good. Okay. All right, so the simple, safe thing to do is just to Plow here and chill. Yeah, I think I'll just do that. I'll Plow and chill. My hand is great. I just need another land. And I can Surveil end step and hopefully find another land. Go ahead and Plow here. They could have boarded in like Price of Progress. I think it's important to stop this. Like, I don't want to take a lot of damage. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And this might be just setting me up to die to They pyro here. Wait, they have a pyro in their hand. I know about it. Why did I do that? I'm a dum-dum. Okay, well, that was dumb. Yeah, I'd forgotten that they'd revealed this. Yeah, sorry, my excellent friends. That is what we call a punt. So let's go ahead and get our Surveil land. That Beanstalk is good, but it's slow. I need a land. I mean, it really sucks to like put it away, but we do need the land. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to attempt to plow first. I think I need to plow now. Yeah, I'm going to plow now. And I'll just chill. Next turn, I can Uro if they don't waste me yet again. Ponder. So if they find the Murk, they're going to need a land to use the Murk. And that gives me a window where I can potentially Uro. I didn't want to Uro last turn because I didn't want to take 3 if they daze me. If they played a land. Land, please. Force is okay, but it doesn't really stop what they're doing. I think at this point, I do want to just maximize looks at finding a land here, and that means Uroing. If they Pyroblast, it's bad. Oh no, do they have freaking Seek the Beast? That's going to be terrible for me. They grab this, which implies that they do have Seek the Beast. Okay, Seek the Beast. What entered exile? Force and a Misty. Okay, so they can play a land, but that's it. That's not the worst. All right, I'm not going to play that Carpet. I'm going to pray that next turn I can use it. Yeah. Next turn, we Carpet into Endurance. And then maybe this is big enough that it attacks me. They should play out the land probably from exile. Okay, I can't interact. Okay, and they're passing. This is very good for us. We're very lucky here. So they don't have the ability to interact with us, I don't think. And now we can just bring back Uro instead of Endurancing them. But I kind of think Endurancing them is fine too. Because Endurancing can't be dazed. If they have daze, I could just force it and I have an Uro on the table. That feels stronger than getting Endurance out, especially because we're likely to be able to find a win con off this now that we have so much mana. Oh, I can't produce enough of the same color, so I'm just going to produce green here. An Endurance, and I'll hit your graveyard. All right, they scooped. We did it. All right, that felt good. There was definitely like a touch and go moment there, but yeah, felt good. See you in the next round. Round 2, we're up against tempo players. I like this hand. Yeah, I can just keep sticking Tamiyos. I'm going to leave with the Tundra because it's the least important. If they are on Delver, I enjoy your content very much. Thank you, Golian. Right. So, yeah, I'm going to lead with the Tundra because it's the least important. And I'm going to just Tamiyo here and hope that it baits interaction. Worst case scenario, they waste me and like I'm at least creating clues while I'm waiting around for more land. This will almost certainly grab the Surveillian just to try to find land number 3. I know I say this all the time, but like Surveillians really have fundamentally changed like what kind of hands you can keep. Because like before, without a Surveillian, it would be extremely risky to keep a hand like this. Because Wasteland and you just have nothing going on. I guess technically I have a Ponder, so it's not the end of the world, but the Surveillian definitely makes it a little easier to get like, you know, kind of a free third of a Ponder. Okay. So I'm getting Delver vibes. Yep. Double Delver. I'll take it. I think we have a good Delver matchup. Okay. If I can Ponder into something that interacts with this, like a Plow, I want a Plow. Is this wrong? I mean, I feel very much emboldened by drawing that third land. I should just go ahead and attack first. What am I doing? All right, so let's go ahead and Ponder here. And again, we're looking for Plow. These are great cards. My goodness. We don't need the Endurance, but I like the idea of being able to cast Beanstalk next turn and also potentially draw and flip Tamiyo. So yeah, we're just going to chill here with nothing going on and hope that they don't go too crazy with their DRC now. They could like change cantrips and fill up their yard very quickly. I played against Delver the other day and they were able to get like 6 cards into their graveyard by the end of turn 2. They've been okay, they're getting close to Delirium already. Now that they have like a Wasteland or a Brainstorm or a Bolt or anything, they can get Delirium damage going. All right, Tarn. That's not a Wasteland. Okay, now they have Delirium, assuming they just correct this fetch. So we're taking 3. They've been a daze. That's nice for them because they already have, like I've already got a lot of land and they don't seem to have a Wasteland to strengthen the daze. So I'm going to draw the Beanstalk. I'm going to fetch because I don't want to draw the Endurance. And then I'll Beanstalk and I'll just take damage for another turn cycle. Oh yeah, they didn't even need to crack the land to get Delirium. I was wondering how they achieved that. Yeah, let's go ahead and fetch. Simplest thing to do is fetch a Savannah just to further reinforce our lands. But if we fetch... I think end step I just go fetch the... yeah, I'm going to do this. I'll go ahead and attack first. I'm definitely attacking. And stacking up these clues does something later. Yeah, I didn't want to draw the other Endurance. Oh, we go for Endurance. They daze. It's a blowout. They did bin a daze, so they may already have a daze in hand, or maybe not. It is safe to Beanstalk. I think I'm going to go ahead and fetch just to clear the Endurance that I don't necessarily want. Maybe I should have drawn the Endurance. Okay, they're fetching. I think they may bolt here, which is great because I don't care about Tamiyo anymore. Sorry, Tamiyo. I've got a backup Tamiyo anyway. Okay, they're brainstorming here. So they're getting an imperfect brainstorm. Gosh, this makes me think that maybe I should go for the Endurance because there's a decent chance they've been 1 days. I'll grab a Savannah here. If I can get rid of this, they can reload pretty quickly. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to find a Plow here. And taking 3 is not the end of the world. Okay, that's a land. That means we do have Endurance next turn, but it may be too late depending on whether they have Murktide. Murktide would be nearly full sized. They'd probably attack first and then post combat Delirium. They've been on an island. Okay. You're seeing my top card, which is unknown to me. It may be worth flipping Tamiyo just to distract my opponent. Okay, so Murk isn't... Murk could happen this turn. Still. If Murk doesn't happen, I'm going to be very happy because I'll be able to drop in Endurance around days. Unless they have multi-days. Because they've already shown 1 days. I doubt they have double days in hand. So I think we'll get a force for it. The other option is, of course, to bargain, which costs 4 mana. It cantrips. I think we wait. If they don't waste us, I very much want to be able to go get Xander's Lounge here. Wasteland. Okay, so we're probably going to get wasted here. I imagine they're going to waste the Trop. Delver. Okay, we need to hurry. We're under a lot of pressure now. If we find a... I'm tempted to just leave back Tamiyo now. Let's see. Not a good draw. If we are able to somehow trigger Rakshasa bargain, there's no way we can do that because we get 1 trigger off this. This doesn't count toward Tamiyo. There's no way we can cast this. I think I'm just going to go for the Endurance. They left us with double green. It's probably going to get dazed, and then we'll probably just chump to stay alive. I seriously doubt this resolves. My kids just came home. They're like super loud. All right, if you can hear the squealing and they're having fun. It's tonight's taco night. Yeah, there's the days. I mean, again, like we intentionally played in the days, knowing that it was a risk. We can't really afford to sit back now that they have this Delver out. So they kept, so Delver is going to flip. So we're going to drop to 6. I think we just chump. And the reason we chump is we're so low and we do have ways of gaining life here, but it's super slow. If they have like double bolts, we're just dead. So what? It didn't flip? Okay, well now I'm really glad I kept the Tamiyo back because I can just block and she doesn't die. Unholy Heat. Okay. That is fine. That means we don't have to worry about... we're just taking 4 here, which means we probably have 2 turns still. If they drop like another creature, it's scary. If we find our own Murktide, it's good. Because we'll cantrip... Our Endurance number 2 is in our deck, and I do regret shuffling that away. I will acknowledge that that was almost certainly a punt. Also, I've had a few windows to be able to get Xander's Lounge, and I just haven't been able to justify it because I've always had stuff to do with my mana. That is an argument against having Tamiyo in the deck. Is like, when are you going to actually use this? Okay, so options. One, I think we do want to... This could chump if they don't flip by some miracle. They kept a card on top, which makes me think that this is going to flip. So Malevolent Rumble doesn't actually net us a blocker. So here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and Rumble first. Hope to find like an Uro that can come back next turn. And then I can go get Xander's Lounge. I mean, if I find a Leyline Binding, I could go get Xander's Lounge and I could go for it. There's a Leyline Binding. This is why this card is cracked. I know that Rakshasa is stealing a lot of the thunder, but that is a freaking really powerful sequence right there. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. Lounge. White. We're going to bind the DRC. Draw trigger. And we have Uro in the yard for next turn. We do have double green, assuming they don't find a Wasteland. We just took a lot of pressure off. I'm going to put this under there because it's a utility tool. This is almost certainly going to flip here, and we're going to take 3. But we'll start to Uro our way out of here. This is how Uro beats Delver. Is like you get like down to like 3 life or something, and then you crawl back. Lightning Bolt. Okay, so we're going to be at literally 1 life. All right. Okay, hear me out. If they don't waste, and did they already play that land this turn? They could find a second bolt, and we're dead. They did play the Misty, so we're not going to get wasted. So if we get a turn, what we can do is we can Mystic Sanctuary to put Plow on top, and then we will have Daze Protection on our Plow. We can plow our own creature to survive. But if they have double bolt, we're just dead. They're fetching. They could Murk here. I think they're Murking. So we get Uro out, gain some life. We plow their Murk, and then we're still dead at double bolt, unfortunately. Oh, Leyline Binding is so cracked here. All right, so let's think about this. Assuming they don't have days, we can really do it all. I want to go ahead and put a Plow on top, and I can just remove both of these. Okay, so now what I want to do, I have white, and then I'll have another white here. I won't be able to Uro. I'm going to Leyline Bind. There's the Plow. Leyline Bind will take the Murk, and then Plow, they get a little less life. We could just go blue, blue, green, green, bring Uro back. We're still dead to bolt, though. I think we go ahead and we do this. Plow here. And then I can Rakshasas and draw some cards and maybe find a Force. No, wait, I can just play an Uro out of hand. Draw a card. Gain some life. I think that's actually the safest thing to do. All right, so we go back up to 7. We're no longer dead to bolt. We find a freaking Force. That's awesome. All right, we're staying alive. 17 minutes on the clock for both of us. Force is going to go up the Beanstalk and it's Daze Protected, so I'll 100% pitch this Tamiyo to force a relevant spell here. They don't have Hydroblast in their deck yet. I don't think that's a Force. Let's see what they followed up with. Because I'm actually okay to double bolt here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring Uro back. Blue, green, green. Uro. I say some lands. We do technically have not exactly what I should do. Like just in case I draw, I'll feel kind of dumb if I draw like a Loam and I just exile all my lands. Because there were a couple other cards I could have exiled there. Oh, that's good. All right, we got an Uro. I could play out Tamiyo just as something to block in case. I think it's safe to do. I'm not going to flip her though. I'll flip her if they try to plow her, but like, why would they interact with her when I've got a freaking Uro? Actually, what I can do is I can block and then I can brainstorm after that. This little Eldrazi spawn token has made my life so much easier by ensuring that I don't get dazed. They did not flip their Delver. This game is over, I believe. Seek the Beast. I'm going to force that. Pitching. Brainstorm. So I'm still within triple bolt range, but they don't have the mana. They can't do that. Okay, good game. All right, that was close. The game gets a little bit easier post-board. It also gets a little harder, but it gets easier with these carpets, for sure. And the prismatic ending. Then we'll just keep the same strategy as last time. We'll board out the Tamiyos, since they died to like a stiff breeze. We'll board out the Loam package. Yep, let's go. Loam package is also slow, and Delver games can go long because there's a lot of thinking like about staying alive and stuff. Yeah, really any tempo mirror, control mirror has the potential to run out of time, especially with this deck on MTGO, especially because you have to click so much. Uro is freaking great though. Like he's been great both of these games. Because like you stabilize, if you're playing bug and you stabilize at like 3 life, okay, congratulations. You're dead to a bolt for the rest of the game and you're going to have to hold your forces. But Uro just like being able to gain life and be like basically unkillable. They do have Pyroblast and main deck they have Punishing Fire. We saw that, but that's basically it. All right, this is a keep. What I'm looking for against this deck is lands. I can even Island Ponder, and that just ensures it increases the likelihood we'll be able to resolve a Beanstalk next turn. And if we can find, like if we can cantrip enough and get an early Murktide, sometimes that can just block everything, basically. Please Ponder. All right. I'm so lucky. Yeah, my opponent's playing really well. I think I agree with all the decisions I made last game. Like it was just unfortunate that I was able to get that Uro out. Okay, Bargain's fine. It's not an early game card, but it does combo with the Beanstalk. I mean, Murk seems solid. I like just pondering a whole lot and filling up the yard. Yeah, because we can ponder twice next turn and just really fill it up. And then they're less likely to go after a ponder with days. So we fill it up and then we go. Then when we have 3 lands, that's when we Beanstalk. And then Delver can be pretty big, potentially bigger than theirs because we'll have at least 3 sorceries in our yard. It's one of the like, more disgusting things about Murktide is the fact that like they printed it as a blue card and blue has so many instants and sorceries that it's just casting throughout the game. Preordain, okay. The worst cantrip that is legacy playable. Actually, I think that distinction belongs to what is it? It's called it's played in Doomsday. You look at the top card of your deck. Okay, I do this. I guess I could have. Okay, this is fine. I don't need this binding for now. My opponent is being very passive, which is great for me. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this, and then I'm just gonna also ponder again. Last game, my opponent brought in Unlicensed Hearse against me. So I do want... We're pretty far from Leyline Binding being good, but I don't know. It's probably better than nothing. What I'll do is I'll just take this Lorien Revealed, and then upkeep I can decide if I want to like cycle. Because this does represent a land. And if they start wasting, then... I mean, if they like draw 2 or 3 back-to-back Wastelands, we'll be pretty dead. There's a Wasteland. So I can just shuffle the other cards away and go get an island. I will go get a Trop to replace the Trop they just took from me. And then we'll draw fresh cards. I have lots of Trops. Could I get wasted out of Trop completely? Let's see. I've got Savannah. I've got Hedge Maze. I've got all my blue-green sources in my deck. I may actually take Tundra here, and then I could just Hedge Maze. We'll see what I draw. I think I Hedge Maze here. Just to do something. I can hold this Ponder for later. Oh. And if we get a window to do that, we are going to do just disgusting things. Another Wasteland. See, this is precisely the scenario I outlined earlier. If they have a Force, that's very bad for us. If they have double days, that's bad for us. Otherwise, I mean, if they get us completely off green, we have 1, 2, 3. We should have another Trop in our deck. Okay, so let's go to post-combat, and I'm just going to Beanstalk first. And then I think I will actually cast this cantrip. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cast this because I don't care. Like, I just want to fill up my yard. Rumble's fine. Strand goes and gets the Trop so we can cast Endurance, which I think is our play next turn. Uro is fine too, but we don't really need him. I think what I do is I take the Strand and then I can Rumble next turn and put the Uro in the yard. And it's basically like a free card. Yeah, and I'm not going to worry about Murktide because our Murktide is going to be bigger than theirs. Our Murktide will be full size now. Okay, they're not fetching. They may have Seek the Beast or something. They didn't do it last turn. They may be cognizant that I play Days, which I don't right now, but usually I do. I think the simple thing to do is go ahead and add green here. And I can Rumble. I want to just Endurance them. I think the play is to rumble because we know that it'll put an Uro in the yard. I'll keep a green up, but then my endurance. No, wait, it can't be days because I'll have the thing, the dude. So it's rumble. They're fetching. They may force to negate this, and then I can just shuffle away the Uro because I don't necessarily want to. Oh, force negation. You're welcome to seek the beast if that's what you want to do. Okay, there's the force negation. That's fine. Okay, so now we don't really have anything we can do. Well, wait. No, we could go for the endurance, but it could get dazed. That'd be kind of embarrassing. If we just play the land, yeah, I think I just play this out and we just pass. And again, we're taking it nice and slow. Next turn I could potentially add black, but I think what I'm going to do is just go get the land, and then I'll have domain, the trim. Because I have as much green as I need off of this carpet, which I can replay. They could bounce it back to hand, but I can just replay it. Okay. Hydroblast is great. I'm just going to add green here. And I will play out a land. And then I'm just going to endurance now. I have Hydroblast protected Rakshasa next turn. Yeah, we're very far ahead. This blunts like half their creatures. Yeah, they just had like an extremely slow... and the thing to remember about Delver is it only plays like 13 or 14 creatures. So they will occasionally get draws that are like, oh, this has a lot of cantrips, a lot of interaction. But I think this is a Hydroblast. I think I'm just going to Hydro here. Because this potentially unlocks like them doing other stuff. I mean, yeah. And then I could Rakshasa's bargain, but like there's no reason to turn on days at this point. Okay, I'm just going to add some blue. Yeah, blue. I'll play out a land here. Yeah, I don't think there's any harm in playing out a land. And we're going to go Murk. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I leave the Leyline in the graveyard just in case. Beanstalk trigger. Okay. Drew Sanctuary, which I can't play yet. I guess I'm going to go ahead and do this. Black, green, Rakshasa. I'll draw a card as well. Off Beanstalk. I want to put an Uro in the yard. Freaking Brainstorm. Or Force of Will. That's awesome. So we can just force this. Then we get another trigger. Yeah, I am going to do this because I want the triggers. Why not? Extremely far ahead. They pitched a Murk to do that because they knew our Murk was going to... Like, I guess they can't use Murk because we endurance them. I'm going to talk to my opponent real quick. So I'm just asking them why they kept the hand they did. I imagine it's because they didn't really want to mulligan against our deck because you don't generally want to mulligan against control decks where every card matters. And then probably what happened was they had cantrips. Like, I can't remember exactly what was in their yard when we endurance them, but yeah. Let's jump to the next game. We are 2-0. All right, we're up against Wiki, very skilled player. Let's see what they're likely on. They've been playing Jeskai, Postman. They were even playing it. Yeah, they're probably on Jeskai. This is a great matchup for us. I'm going to keep this. You don't want to mulligan against Jeskai. Unfortunately, they may have back to basics, which our deck just basically assumes that. Let's see, how many back to basics do they have? 0. They have Ruination. Ruination is an awesome card that I've cast many times, and I love it. So, Teferi, Wandering Emperor, Tamiyo, 4th, Stock Ups, Supreme Verdicts. So value, but like still lower to the ground than we are. I'll just hedge maze here. Yeah. Making land drops is important in the control mirror. I'm going to go ahead and rumble. Rumble. Yeah, I'll rumble and then I'll Beanstalk once. I'd like to have like some interaction up. Let's see. How many spell piercers do they play? 0. Well, that does make me want to go ahead and just jam. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for it. This will probably elicit a force. We can't force back, but it's okay. All right, it worked. Tamiyo. So it's worth noting that my opponent is extremely skilled and they are not going to just let me remove their Tamiyo. We will want to wait for a good window. I think the simple thing to do here is go ahead and brainstorm. I've got a lot of, like maybe too many lands. I think we waste here and then we pass and then we can plow them. Let's see. This is a few more cantrips than I think I need. Also, I'm going to draw one. Okay, they are not even going to attempt to do the thing. I'm just going to get rid of this. All right, and our lead is preserved. I can Malevolent Rumble, and I mean, there's a small chance that I find Life from the Loam, but Life from the Loam is pretty good right here. They are playing a lot of duels for Jeskai. Well, let's see. They may not be on this exact list. Okay, Wander. I'm just trying to see if I can discern exactly what kind of deck they're on, because it would be aberrational for them to have both their duels at the beginning when they're playing so many basics. Yeah, I think this is probably the same list that we were just looking at. All right. So now Murktide would be great. I think we know we have a cantrip on top. Cantrips are good. I think I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm again. Just shuffle away a couple excess lands. Leyline Binding is not great against them, but when we have a Beanstalk out, it is pretty good. I think what I'm going to do is I'll just play a land, and I'll most likely find a... Oh no, I screwed up. All right, that was dumb. Yeah, I for some reason... Yeah, I'm just spewing, like hemorrhaging freaking cards here. Plow is really bad against them. I'll take this. I'm just going to play this out, and I'll just chill. I'll go get the thing in the end step. The thing being the Xander's Lounge. They may Prismatic end this, which I can force. Ponder's fine. Yeah, like I got so many freaking brainstorms, and I just kind of like spewed them off. That's not how you use brainstorm. So do as I say, not as I did. I meant to keep a land and put one of the other cards back so I could go ahead and rumble last turn and dig to another land. Yeah, this is a force. This will draw us a card. They may force back. All right. They are forcing back. Okay, so our they pitched a dress down, which is not a great card against us. Okay. I'm just going to go get Xander's Lounge here. Just like there's never going to be a better time to grab it. Okay, so we've got plenty of land. I think I'm going to go ahead and... I mean, I could find the thing. Yeah, maybe I should dream a little bigger. I could also rumble. Fine to go ahead and ponder. Because if I'm going to ponder like this with white. Because if I find Rakshasa... Yeah, there we go. I'm going to cast this. Let's go ahead and... I mean, it does feel a little bit crazy to just have so many freaking cantrips, but we do want to keep pulling ahead, and this is a convenient way to do so. I'll grab this. We'll go green, blue, black. Continue to pull ahead here. I'm afraid of like Teferi, Fourth Lingus, stuff like that. I do want a Wasteland because they're light on land. I think Endurance is okay because it can threaten a Planeswalker. They may... What do they use their graveyard for? Nothing. Basically nothing. They do have a Mystic Sanctuary in the deck. I think it's more useful than a second Leyline Binding, but I could be wrong. Yeah, let's do like that. And we'll just pass. Next turn we have Wasteland and on their Valk. A little worried about Teferi here, or Fourth Lingus, but like with Endurance to take away the Monarchy, it's not that bad. Okay, here's Fourth Lingus. Oh, Wandering Emperor, that's fine. So I can just bind that. Teferi can bounce and then get it back. Maybe it's correct to just bind the token. That's a good rip. I'm going to get rid of their land. We bind this and we just block this. How many bounce effects do they have in their deck? They have 2 Teferis. I think that's it. I could rumble first, see if I can find a Beanstalk. No, I've already played my land for turn. I think I go ahead and yoink this. I don't have green for... Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this first. And then we'll see what they do. I don't mind this creature. They're so low on resources, mana-wise. So that comes in. So Teferi would be a huge blow. I think I go ahead and bargain instead of rumble. And I can rumble next turn. Okay, this is great. So we can Loam and we can take Force. No, wait. Or I think I take Force blue card just in case I need to use it. This puts Loam in the yard. We can draw a bunch of cards next turn with Loam functionally, get a Wasteland back. I don't want to lose to Teferi here. I need to be able to force that. All right, they're attacking. Yeah, Wasteland's been good. If they play another non-basic, I will Loam and get a Wasteland. It's fine. They may not have another Volk. They just have an island. Okay. All right. No Teferi. I don't think we need that yet. We still don't have an Uro or... Oh, we just drew a Wincon. I think what I do is just put a giant Murk out and defend it. I could Rumble and see if I can find Uro. That's a little less dangerous. There is Uro. He has to go in my hand. Wait, I could just put him directly in the graveyard. I'll put him in hand. I think the simple thing to do is to go ahead and just cast him. Let's get green here. I'll get a Trop. Green, blue, colorless. If we draw a land, that's great. We do have 20 lands in our deck. Okay, perfect. Wow, that's great. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal. We're not going to use the mana for anything, but it is nice to have it. Okay, so we'll just pass here, and we'll take 2 more off this thing. But now we can pitch Murktide. Cards are what matter here. It's not like pressure or anything like that. Clock matters. They are playing extremely fast. They're much more experienced than I am. Need that. Okay, great. I think the simple thing to do is go ahead and get more cards. Black, green, blue, bargain. And this is where what we're doing just outscales what they're doing. Okay, I think we take the Beanstalk for sure. And I don't really need the Uro. I can just put him in the yard. I mean, he's a blue card for Force. It's probably better than Plow. And now I'm just going to go green, colorless, Beanstalk. And next turn I can start, Murktides and stuff. All right, we're in. And Endurance just may not come out at all this game. Once we have Murktide, we're going to cantrip, and then we have 2 forces to protect Murktide. So I think we can just fight through their removal and kill them with Murktide. Murktide will be an 8/8. It'll only take 2 swings. I'm just going to go Murk. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Full-size Murk. Blue, blue. Draw trigger. This Loam will not leave me alone. All right. I probably could have Loam there. I do have Endurance up too. I'm just going to chill though. I technically have Hardcast Force if I need it and Pitchcast Force, but I don't think it's going to matter here. I'm going to Plow. I'm going to force this. One of my Uros. Draw trigger. Force negation. Let's go ahead and... Yeah, I'm not going to pitch Uro. Okay, draw trigger. Okay, drew a land. Now we get this. Okay, another Beanstalk. We have 13 cards left in our deck. Yeah, that's not a lot. Okay, I'll let that happen. We've worked through only one of their Plows, so they almost certainly have another Plow. I'm going to cast an Endurance, and I'm going to start beating them with that. I don't think I'm going to cast... Wait, I can Endurance myself. If they don't have the Plow, I can Endurance myself and just make a giant Murk. I think they're probably going to find a way to remove him. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start by just playing this out. Endurance, cast. That's fine. So I'm going to target them first. Yeah, because I want to bring back Uro, and then I can target myself later. So I think the safest thing to do is just bring back Uro now. Blue, blue. Green, green. Yeah, that's fine. Green, Uro. We go 1, 2, 5. Done. Goes in. We draw. And I think we can probably beat them down in time here before we run out of cards. But I am going to keep Endurance in hand just in case. We've gone through all our forces, I believe. Stock up's fine. So I think we're safe to just remove this, and that speeds up our clock. They're fetching. Brainstorm. Probably looking for another Plow. They may be hoping to deck us, and they may also hope to run us out of time. Because like I said earlier, they're like a much faster player than we are. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And this does draw a card. But again, I think we still have them. I'm going to go ahead and put Force on top. Just in case we need to force something. Now we're attacking. No. Okay. And now I think we can just pass and we can end step the Endurance with Force backup. They could like Wrath the board. So they're so low in life that I think even if they do Wrath the board, it's not that big of a deal. They actually tapped out of No, wait, they still have mana for exactly Supreme Verdict. Tamiyo's fine. That doesn't keep them alive. I am going to go ahead and just do this now because I don't think there's any risk to it. And I'm just going to, because the one way I lose is this gives me another attacker. Okay, let's go ahead and go for lethal here. Okay, they're dead. So they were just playing to max the clock because they noticed that I play slow. And that's totally chill. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm trying to play as fast as I can. Life from the Loam, every single time I drew a card was kind of annoying. So Loam is coming out. The waste package comes out here for sure. Let me actually consult my sideboard guide. So this isn't the exact sideboard guide. Yeah, actually, I think this is pretty close. So against Jeskai, which I do have thing. This is the old one, probably. +3 Hydroblast, +1 carpet. I could probably go +2 carpet. I think it's worth it because mitigates the effect of ruination. I can't end this, which is, I think we can definitely bring in this if we're taking out Plow. It's just as another way to deal with a flip Tamiyo. They're probably playing 4. Hydroblast comes in. Cards we don't really care about. They don't use their graveyard. I think we could cut the endurances. They could like potentially plow us out of win cons, but maybe we want to keep one. I don't know. Lavinia is okay. She is a win con. She's probably better than endurance because she does. Oh, what does she shut off? Does she shut off anything in their deck? She just shuts off the counter spells. That's it. Maybe ending doesn't come in. I feel like having a 5th thing. I mean, this can also remove Teferi and stuff. Tamiyo is really good because she just, yeah. I'll keep an endurance in. I can take out Rumble. I mean, like, I don't know. It doesn't, like, the thing is, like, all our cards are good for, like, long games, and we're going to have a very long game here. I can take out Lorien. I don't think it's going to matter. It's kind of like a slow land. We've already got carpets for that. I submitted with 1 second on my clock. I was just distracted seeing what they said. Submission received. Thank goodness. Okay, so this is a mulligan. I think Wiki's observing that like maybe it's risky for me to play a card like Rakshasa when I have so few. I'm going to put back the Murktide. I'm going to actually, yeah, because it's going to be a while, and I'm going to try to just keep deploying Tamiyos. Okay, so I think here, the simple thing to do is go and get on the board with Tamiyo. If they plow, that's no problem. I can deploy another one. I would not be surprised at all if they have Ruination in their deck. I am playing a 61 card special because I couldn't decide what to cut and I just ran out of time. That's fine. All right. And they must think that they want to respect the fact that we might have Wasteland because last game we did Wasteland to get them off that. I think I don't want to flip her yet. She's quite good. And I could just wait and see. I'll go and attack first and then I think I'll just hedge maze because I'm going to get that out of the way. Beanstalk doesn't actually do anything here because we don't have a spell for it yet, and I want to keep up Brainstorm just in case. It's an above average draw. Yeah, okay. And we can potentially put away the redundant Tamiyo if it's clear they're not going to remove her. They may have Prismatic Ending and they may be waiting for us to flip her, but I'm not going to proactively flip her because she's a 2-for-1 if they attempt to remove her. So this is probably Spell Pierce, but it's fine. Brainstorm, they're flipping their own. Okay, they're fetching. So I am a little bit worried. Yeah, they have Pyro. But this does mean they only have one black source. I did take out the Wastelands, so that doesn't matter. So they got it. They expended a lot of resources there, but they do have a Tamiyo taking up. So now my job is to find a Leyline Binding stat. Okay, so Rumble can help us dig for Leyline Binding. I don't think Endurance matters here. Endurance could come in, but it's slow. I mean, it can apply pressure. It feels... Put back Tamiyo here. I don't think Tamiyo is where we need to be. Put back Endurance. I'm just going to go ahead and Beanstalk. And then next turn, I'll hope to find Leyline Binding off Rumble. Yeah, we're going to have to pay 3 mana for it, but it might be in time. I'll get a Savannah here. I could get an island just in case they do Ruination next turn. That would be pretty catastrophic. All right, we're in. Okay, and we got a 4th land. Teferi's annoying. He could bounce the clue. Yep. Plus, they know that I could be playing Prismatic Ending, so they may minus here. Okay, that's a good card. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start by rumbling. Then we can decide where we want to go. Murk applies pressure. It cantrips. We are not quite ready for it. I think I just take the Beanstalk here and we go with the Beanstalk again. And we just hope to outscale them. We'll get a Trop. All right. And now once we find a Murk, we're cooking. They'll get they'll get to do stuff, but yeah, like finding the back-to-back Leyline bindings or something like that would be really good here. Stuff that's not blue. I wouldn't mind finding Endurance again. It's fine. Another Tamiyo. Okay, I think we just Uro here. They may Pyro this. They can regrow Pyro next turn if they want to. I intentionally didn't play a land out because I wanted to think that I'm not going to ramp here, but I actually am. Okay, Uro's in. We get a card. Yeah, that's a great card. It will be once we remove Teferi, of course. I'll play this out. And now this dies. Let's go ahead and play this out to... I think I want to go ahead and see if I can find a Leyline binding. That could have been a Brainstorm. At some point they are going to start casting the Hydroblast. I'd much rather them hit this than hit the Pyro because I can Brainstorm. Yeah, that's fine. I do have one more white source in my deck. No, I don't. But I'm going to go ahead and do this anyway because I want to put away this Force Negation. It does nothing here. Okay, so Hydroblast is great. Force will be good once we eventually dig through all this. I think we get rid of Hydroblast here. And yeah, they're going to get another activation on Tamiyo, unfortunately. But I will be able to Prismatic End that Tamiyo. If they plus her, I'll just Prismatic End her. Kraken Clue. Best card we can find is definitely Leyline Binding. We've got 4 kicking around in our 39 card deck. It's going to be 37 card after we fetch and draw. Okay, they're regrowing the Blast. They minused. Okay, interesting. So they're going to flip her. It's fine. And then I can just end her. I'm going to get the Lounge. Oh, so good. All right. First things first. I want to see if this gets the force effect if they have one. Okay, and I can't... I could do this. It will trigger. I think it's worth doing, and then they probably blast it. There's no way they don't Pyroblast this. Okay, but we do get our trigger. Is it good? Yeah, it's not something we can use. We'll just pass. I'm going to F6 through their turn because I'm low on clock and I can't do anything anyway. I mean, you could argue I should have F6 through previous turn, or I probably would have saved a few seconds if I, you could do this thing where you're like, yield until incept. Yeah, Teferi's really good against us. If I get another dud, I might just concede. They're putting back Prismatic Ending. Yeah, and then now they're going to get rid of our Beanstalk. It's going to be hard for us to claw our way back into this. Especially because Teferi can plus, and then they're just going to minus? Just to draw a card? That's crazy. Oh, they have another Teferi. That's why. Okay. Oh, I was F6. I could have freaking forced that and drawn. Oh, that was such a beating. Oh, no. F6ing cost me hardcore. Okay. I mean, they should just draw. They didn't target this. Okay. Well, I guess I could have countered it, but I was F6'd. Yeah, that was such a dumb punt on my part. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this out. Just go 1, 2. The odds of them not being able to deal with this are very low. Okay, and then I'm just going to F6 again. I don't think they have a third Teferi in their deck, so I don't think there's a likelihood. Yeah, and they wouldn't minus anywhere anyway. But that is like a teachable moment. Like, don't F6 when your opponent has 3 loyalty. I mean, they might do something crazy, like just get rid of their Teferi. So they're going to find a Plow here. Again, we're recouping some clock. Like, there was a huge gulf in our clock at the beginning of this game, and now it's not so big. Probably going to just cantrip and find a Plow. Yeah, there's the Plow. Okay. So even, I think maybe I make them play it out just because. Okay, Tommy. Let's get her going. Surgical on our Uro. Fine, I can't do anything about that. When did Uro get in our graveyard? Did I freaking forget that I had Uro in my graveyard? I'm sorry, my excellent friends. You're probably screaming at me. I totally did not realize Uro was in my graveyard. So now the only win con we have left in our deck is a single Murktide. Do we still have that in our deck? No, it's in exile, so we can concede. I'm just going to F6 and make them eat up their clock so they have to win so we can learn more about their deck. Yeah, I played so badly here. Like the force and then overlooking the Uro. I think this is my last game of the day, and then I'm going to go just eat tacos with my kids. But the video will continue. It's just that after this game, I'm going to go do something else, and I'll come back and play it tomorrow. I mean, we still may be able to win game 3, but like I'm just so embarrassed because I feel like if I had played out Uro, which I totally didn't realize he was in my yard, his casting card does look a little bit like Raksasa's bargain. That's my lame excuse for today. Okay. Yeah. And I'm just going to F6. I'm not going to play lands. There's no point. Oh, you know what? I'm going to sack this. So I don't have to, I'll sack. Now my opponent will definitely be sure that I am just chilling here waiting for the win con. We have an endurance in our deck, I think is our sole win con. Is this one there? Yeah, it's not going to win it. I'll go find it. I screwed up the freaking... Okay, I'm just going to scoop. I'm not going to try to nickel and dime them on time. They've got plenty of time on their clock. Okay, let's not be tilted. Let's keep our head on straight. We've got 7 minutes to win basically the grindiest mirror possible. Jeskai. We do want to cut a card. Could be that double carpet is not necessary and one carpet is plenty. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I don't think carpet really matters. And drawing like late in the game when you've expended all your ammo and you draw a carpet, it feels so bad when you've got like tons of lands out. Is a keep. I'm just going to start lounge. But we're going to get our colors. I probably could have hedge maze there instead. But this way I will have Hydroblast up the following turn. We're going to get our ETB tap lands out of the way real quick though. The bin. Just playing very quickly. We do have Rakshasa's bargain. If we wait till turn 4, we have it with Hydroblast up. I think we probably should wait. Unless they get a... If they get a Tamiyo cooking, then I will not wait. There's a Tamiyo. So I do need to clear that. Pretty high likelihood that they have... yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do like this. And then if I find... these are good cards. These are very good cards. Oh no, all our lands are fetches. Well, I'm going to go ahead and play the carpet first. Yeah, I'll play the carpet this turn, and they may have prismatic ending for it. And that's fine. I'm not going to shuffle because I want to draw that Beanstalk very badly. All right, we're just going to pass. Carpet is a dangerous thing to have out when you have low clock because there is a lot of clicking. All right, you get a clue. I'm going to definitely try to wait until she's transformed to grab her. I guess it doesn't matter. No, once it targets, it does matter. Okay. Yes, I would like to not use it yet. I'm going to play this out. Now I'm going to go green, blue, Beanstalk. And if they fight over this, unfortunately, I have to fight too. All right, we're in. We got that. That's great. I could go ahead and get it now. I think we wait till my opponents begin combat. Okay, wait. I've got mana here. I am just going to add the white. Then I'm going to go get my Savannah. I'll get a Trop or a Tundra. And then I could just Leyline by pretty swell. Grab that. Do you want to brainstorm? If you do, it's fine. Do I want to stop this? I think it's a mistake to stop it. Yeah, I don't care. You're not going to be getting clues off it, which is nice. And I'll just dig for another one next turn. So I will force pitching Hydroblast. I do want to keep the bargain in my hand. They're grabbing basics. This makes me think they may have Blood Moon or Ruination or something here for next turn. That's fine. Okay. They could Ruination and they could potentially regrow it and Ruination again. I mean, with the way they're fetching, it definitely gives me Ruination vibes. But they may just be fetching that way because of my carpet. I'll force this. Okay, I'm going to just blast this. They do not have the ability to blast, but they could force back now. Okay, we get a draw. We stop that. See if we can win in 5 minutes. We're definitely feeling favored here. Green. I'm just going to play out this. Draw trigger. Okay, they're tapped out of Hydro. Oh, this is good. I'm just going to do this. At this point, I feel like we've probably won. Force negation is great. Ponder also great. The Tamiyo. Play this out. While they're tapped out, I am going to go ahead and just fill up my hand with Rakshas's Bargain here. I'll just grab the island just in case. Blue, green, black, Bargain, draw a bunch of cards. We're going to have 7 cards at the end of our turn. Looking for win cons. I'll take a Bargain and a blast. These lands don't matter. All right, 4 minutes on the clock. We are very favored here. I think this is worth countering. They may pyro this. It was going to happen sooner or later. And that's a Pyroblast not aimed at my Rakshasas. We've got 33 cards in hand, in deck. We have lots of cantrips we can use if we don't find, but I do want to just find a Murk, ideally. Oh, that's great. I'll just add here, we'll add black, and we'll just go blue, green, Rakshasa Bargain, draw trigger, Uro. That's good. This Force, and I'll take the Beanstalk. I do have an Endurance in my deck. I think I just want to go ahead and play this out. Blue, green, whatever. Let's Uro here. Okay, we're not going to do anything here. I'm not going to bother playing out Tamiyo. Wait, I do want to play it out because otherwise I would have discard. I guess I could have put a Force on top there. I'll just play Tamiyo. She can help me regrow stuff later. I have 3 minutes on the clock. I've got to get Uro back and I've got to protect him. By playing out Tamiyo, I did tap out a Hydro. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I do have 1 Endurance in my deck. Let's just verify that. I do. I'm going to force this. Tamiyo will flip if I force again. Yeah, and I can't cleanly answer this. Surgical on Uro. I will just... I guess I could counter that as well. Okay, so now she's going to flip. There's the Hydro. Or the Pyro that I would have been able to answer here. I guess I just force this. Okay, at the end of the chain, is there anything else? There is a Force. Okay, so they expended great resources on this. So they are not going to get their stock up. They are going to get to Surgical me. But I do have a Force. Oh, I can just force it again. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, Tamiyo flips. So Uro will be able to return. Leyline Binding's good for dealing with whatever they play out. Now we get a couple more cards. They don't get their stock up. They have 2 cards in their hand, and I'm going to Leyline Bind to get a Force back. Just going to use this for blue. So let's put this out. Let's go get a Force back. And then let's go, yes, we're going to go blue, green, green. Get our Uro back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we Endurance ourselves, we want it to be good spells we're getting back. All right. I'll put this in. I think there might still be a land that we can grab. Plus. Next turn I can regrow another Force, and we'll start hitting them. We just need to hit them 3 times, assuming they don't fetch. I could have done more. I could have played out Rumble. Well, this is going to be a Force. They have Force Negation. That's why they timed it this way. Double draw trigger. They have a second Plow. This is fine. I'm going to hopefully find a Murktide here. Endurance. Okay, I think what we do here is we just go ahead and draw our card for turn. That's a Murk. I'm going to add blue. Murk here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue. All right. Okay, and then I can just Murk again just to make sure. Let's see. Undo. Okay, I want to just return a Force here. And I'll just pass with lethal Murk next turn. 35 seconds on the clock. I can swing for lethal. They need to have a removal spell. Okay, let's go ahead and do this very quickly. Yes. Blue. Murk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be big enough. Blue. Always yield. Oh my goodness. I'm not going to be able to do it. I think it'll let me attack. Do they have the Plow? Oh, they have something. Yeah, I couldn't stop it. I had 2 seconds on my clock, so they're going to be able to exile it. Oh, brutal. Yeah, that's a brutal way to lose. Yeah, I mean, we absolutely had it, but I had to F6 because I had 3 seconds. And yeah, that's a bummer. Okay, well, that is enough for today, but stay tuned. We got plenty more action. I think you would agree that like we had that game totally locked up if I could just have played a little bit faster. Like, and the thing is psychologically, like you always have a lot of time until you're like, all of a sudden you don't have time. And then suddenly it becomes really intense. And there were probably plenty of moments where I could have just played a little faster or conceded, like if I had conceded the previous round faster. I think the heuristic to take away from this is when your opponent is competent, like Wiki is, I mean, they still have 5 minutes on their clock. It was foolhardy for me to just like, oh, maybe I get some clock back. Like I should assume that I'm going to need every second of clock and I shouldn't try to like get clock back. I think because even when you're like passing priority and F6ing and stuff, you are still losing a few seconds. And I think that's probably what cost me the game. Like if I had 10 seconds on the clock, I wouldn't have F6'd. I would have been able to just like hold up force. And I seriously doubt there couldn't be a card that they had that would save them there. So yeah, feels bad, but we're going to keep going. The deck feels great. See you in round 4. Round 4, we're going to play with Renewed Urgency. Try not to time out anymore, even though this is like a very click-intensive deck. We're up against a likely Painter player. I like this hand a lot just because it has Beanstalk, it has Wasteland for the most common way we lose early on, which is Urza Saga. So I'm going to keep it. They drop a Catacomb, so they're probably not Painter. Rakshas's Bargain is awesome. We're just going to probably fetch a Surveil land. We are pretty naked to combo if that's what they're on. They're end stepping. If they're just like Reanimator, we're screwed. And my conventional wisdom is you don't bother wasting like tempo. Yeah, they just put a swamp. So I think they're blue-black tempo. They had another swamp. They could be Reanimator. Like what deck plays 2 swamps? All right, we're going to go ahead and Surveil here. The fact that they had this, oh yeah, that's fine. It's good to know about that, I guess. So now I can bin cantrips. Like I don't think this is the right timing for this, but maybe they're worried that I'm going to get a daze land. Let's dodge lands here and let's find spells. I actually think I'm going to bin this right now because I need an answer to the Beanstalk before I start going crazy drawing cards. All right, we did not hit anything relevant. I think what we do here is we can go get the... I'm going to go get the black land, and then next turn we can Rakshasas, and we won't trigger the Bowmaster when we do that. I mean, it's tempting to just go ahead and deploy the Beanstalk and trust that we're going to find a way around it, but Douthie, that's irritating. I think with Douthie, it makes me want to go ahead and cycle the Lorien Reveal just because they have already presented a Wasteland, and I think it's there's a decent chance. If we put this in the Void and they can draw 3 cards, it's pretty catastrophic. Yeah, not a great start to this this play session. As you know, I took a break and went and ate some tacos last night after my bitter defeat. I think we just grab another Trop. This green is pretty important to our hand. And then hopefully they waste us so we can just fetch this Xander's Lounge, and then we hope that they don't have... If they wait till our upkeep to waste, which is what they should do, then we would be screwed. But thankfully they did not. Okay, so we're going to take 5 next turn, which is crazy. We're going to be at 11. I'm going to get the Lounge. Just on the off chance that they don't have a second Wasteland. They haven't presented any selection. They could be mono black and just using this. So it looks like it might be like a mono black mid-range deck. If we draw a Leyline of the Binding, we did. Okay, so next turn we can go to town. So I think what I do here, I am actually pretty close. Well, I'm not going to get any closer to Murktide while Douthie's out. I need to get rid of Douthie. Which do I need to get rid of first? I'm just going to play this out. I mean, I'm so tempted to just bargain here, but it just puts so much pressure on, or Beanstalk. I feel like doing nothing this turn is... Okay, let's see. Let's do some math. Okay, so they attack for 7, or... it would be 6 for next turn, so we dropped to 9. And then by the time we had Binding online, they'd be pinging us again. We had to bind this so we can get cards in our graveyard so we can Murk. And Murk is the way we survive this. So we'll take 2 pings, but we'll get rid of this, and then we'll have a Murk out that'll be bigger than their board. I think we have to trust that works. I don't want to just chill. Let's see. And if they have another Wasteland, the game's over anyway. What could this draw us? This could draw us like a Plow. I'm going to go for this. Okay, Ponder, not the best draw here. All right. So yeah, this deck is kind of weak to Bowmaster, but we do play 12, or we play 8 removal spells, and we have a 9th in the sideboard. I think this is going to be a Terminus matchup. If they are truly like just, balls to the wall creatures. And I think that, like, okay, no play here. This could mean opposition agent. Urro's very good, but it does go to the yard. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and do 1 mana Leyline Binding. And, yeah, I don't know where we go from there, but I do need to get this Douthie out of the way. I think I might just play a Tamiyo just to chump. I know that's pathetic. We do need to remove that. Okay, now we ponder, we get a card in our yard. I mean, bringing back an Urro will get us out of this predicament. I think I Tamiyo and I Urro, and then I plus, and then they don't have to attack Tamiyo, they can ignore her, but she's flipped. It'll reduce the damage we're taking. They could have a second Bowmasters, which would be, but they would have played that when we Leyline Binded probably. Holy guacamole. Don't want the Brainstorm. Do want the Plow for next turn. I'm going to hide it. I'm just going to put the Misty on top so that we can shuffle away the Brainstorm, I guess. And this also provides us a second path to white if they're able to Wasteless. So we're not completely out of this game. I mean, considering how explosive their start is, I'm very happy with how the deck's performing. Shielders Edict, they're going to go ahead and kill this. Okay, so we drop to 6. We're barely alive. Barely. Okay. So if they have another Bowmasters, we just die. But if they don't, we can Plow and then we can Urro and regain some life. We won't gain enough life back to survive, though. We need them to not have another threat and for us to be able to resolve our Murktide, which will be a 5/5, which will trade with the Orc Army token. And we'll be at 1. I don't think we're going to get out of this, unfortunately. The other option is to Urro and then Plow our own Urro, which puts another creature in the yard. Gives us a lot of life to survive for a turn cycle. And that also doesn't trigger Beanstalk. Yeah, I think that's actually the play, is Plow Urro and then gain enough life to survive a turn. Shieldred does it. Yeah, we can't even... Yeah, we're at 1, so that's the game. Okay, so mono black mid-range, which, by the way, I strongly recommend this deck for people that are new to Legacy. Like, I think the best deck, if you really want to get good, is just play Death Shadow or Death and Taxes, like one of those types of decks. And those are very accessible budget decks that cost like $1,000. But if you want to go even cheaper, like the mono black deck, it's kind of like you're playing Modern or you're playing Standard in Legacy. Like, it's just put creatures on the table. Yeah, it's a good deck though. Like, it presents a lot of tactical decisions, even if it is a relatively linear deck. Yeah, I think these two cards come in. I think we just take out the Loam and the Wastelands. I mean, I'd like to take out both Wastelands, but I don't really have anything to bring in here. We could bring in, no, Lavinia doesn't do anything. I don't like Force Negation at all here because almost everything they're going to cast is a creature. Maybe we'd leave one of the Wastelands in. I think it's better than... because they may waste us once, but that's... I just don't like this card fundamentally, like against... I just don't think it's good enough if you're not running 2 Wastelands. But it does fill up the yard. It does potentially get stuff back. Yeah, I think we just play the Wasteland. It's a colorless mana source, effectively. There's no world in which we'd waste them. All right, so we're getting the full gamut. We're getting the extreme control, which we played last round. This is a decent hand. This has double access to double white in case they and we're just gonna plow their threats and we're gonna try to make our land drops. I think every fetch fetches every land, so we don't need to worry about which fetch to use. I am just gonna go get Surveil Land. No, I need to get white here. I guess I've got white next turn and they haven't presented Wasteland. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Yeah, this is great. So I'm going to go ahead and Beanstalk before they can get their Bowmaster. I think I don't bother with the basics. Like, I'll Brainstorm that back if the window presents itself. And I'm not going to subject white to Wasteland. Risk. So this is how we want to start. Blue card. Yes. Okay, we're doing it, folks. We forced Bowmaster. We forced Douthie. Him. That's a force. Very, very snap force. Like I'd rather draw a card than lose 2 cards. Technically, we did go down a card. Well, I mean, it replaced itself. Okay, that's great. I'm just going to, now we run the risk of what if they have, they could have the search guy, but if they have the search guy, they're not going to play it out. And so I won't have anything to plow. So I'm just going to wait. The search guy being the opposition agent. It's the search gal. She's got their cool backpack. Another him. All right. Not a lot we can do here. Just going to let it hit. And it hit Wasteland. Okay. So again, we need to keep our white source up. They opted not to waste us. Heck yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just do it like this. So if they have like a third him, that's where we start to really get in trouble. I want to preserve this white source. I suspect they're just saving that for white sources. Oh, man. Yeah, I didn't think about the him. If they him that out of our hand, I'm going to be very sad. And is him Tatarok a 2020 playable card? I think it is in a mono black shell. I don't think it is in like a control shell. There's like this very skilled player of a lot of formats. I can't remember his name. He's got like a long German name, but he will play like blue-black tempo with like 4 hymns in it, and he goes to like all 3 of the Eternal Weekends. He's really chill. I got to say hi to him at one of them. This is fine. I think this is a good window for us to fetch. Unfortunately, yeah, they have priority. I didn't have a stop there, but I could have fetched around Oppo Agent there. I can actually double fetch. I have 2 white sources, so if they Oppo, then I can just plow that too. They don't have it. That's great. I think the card to get is just like another. I guess I could get it. Yeah, I'll get a Tundra. I'm just going to go ahead and plow this guy right now. Like, you always have to eventually address the Bowmaster, so you might as well do it earlier. And their deck doesn't have like any counterplay to plow. They basically just hope to overload your removal by playing tons of creatures. I will go. No, I'm not going to go get the Cling to Dust. Okay, yeah, it draws them a card. That does shut off. Oh, I could have freaking fetched the thing. They could have. No, they wouldn't have been able to waste me off of it. Here's a Baraglyph, or Barry as I like to call him. I think the mana efficient thing is to go get the other land and go ahead and immediately plow. This Wasteland just chilling here has kept me off of a lot of my ambitions. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this just in case I find, like, I'll just get another Tundra here. Again, overloading their removal. I could have gotten the Mystic Sanctuary in response to their Cling to Dust, and that would have fizzled them drawing a card, and I would have been able to get back my plow instead of losing it from my graveyard. It's not a huge deal. All right, so Tamiyo's out now. I'm going to play this out just because I don't want them to get any him equity. Like, I want these lands anyway. If they play like a Traxa or a Shieldred, that's really dangerous. Court of Ambition. You become the Monarch. At the beginning of each upkeep, each opponent loses 3 life unless they discard a card. If you're the Monarch, instead, each opponent loses 6 life unless they discard 2 cards. Holy cow. That's going to kill us very quickly. How are we going to beat this card? Well, we need to get a Murktide, and then we can just beat our opponent down before they kill us. But we're losing 3 cards per turn. Okay, we got to the Murktide. That's the first step. So step 1, attack with Tamiyo. This is the beginning of their upkeep. Okay, so I thought it was the beginning of my upkeep. So we have a little bit more time than I originally. Now, let's Murk. They're tapped out. I'm going to keep lots of white up just in case I find a bunch of removal. Get rid of, basically, let's make full size. Then I like to proactively get rid of fetches. I think I may have already said that in the video, but like eventually they do, potentially get shuffled back into your deck. Okay, so we are swinging the game very hard here. Check this. Oh, we don't have the black mana. We don't have the black mana. We can go get it, but so we can take the Monarch, which would be great. We're not going to be able. So we cost 4 mana to cast here. We can go ahead and cast it, and then we can see what we want to fetch. Actually, okay. Hear me out. There is a line. The line is We go get the card. No, it doesn't help actually. Yeah, Mystic Sanctuary doesn't help. Nothing helps. I shouldn't have fetched. Thader's Lounge doesn't. It does help reduce the cost of Leyline Binding. I'll just get a Savannah here, just in case I find like a Plow or something. I don't know. But that is what I'm hoping to find here. Let's play 2 blue, green. Let's go ahead and draw 4 cards. What? Okay. Okay, so we need to do it in a very specific order, apparently. I think cancel. Let's try this again. In fact, I'm just going to undo my lands, and I'm going to put the spell on the stack, and then I think it's easier to resolve if you do it in this order. Add blue, and now we're going to add... All right, there. Yeah, that is definitely faster. Okay, and we drew another Rakshasas. Drew Uro, which is a great card to discard. Yeah, we'll take the Brainstorm, and we'll take the Flooded Strand and the Sanctuary, so we can discard them. Well, I don't want to discard the Lounge. I mean, we have so much mana, it probably doesn't matter at this point. I'm going to take this and the Brainstorm, and I'm probably just going to... Yeah. Okay. The good news is I think we're going to win this game. I do kind of want to get this Brainstorm out of my hand while I can. This is great. So next turn we could Murk again and just create a giant Murktide. What do I want to put back? I want to discard the Ponder. I don't want to discard the Bargain. It's really good. I think I'm going to hide the Bargain on top just because it's really good. I'm fine with discarding Endurance because I'm about to Murk again, and then I'll have 2 giant flyers. If I put this back, I might be able to do... Well, I'm going to draw it off the top. I'll just put this back. We'll draw Rakshas's Bargain. Okay, so we're going to pass here. In the upkeep, I'm going to discard 2 cards. I don't want to lose 6 life. Okay, so we're going to discard Uro, and we're going to discard Ponder. We don't lose any life. That's great. So that is nice to know that... and next turn, we'll have a giant Murk up. It won't be super giant, but Shielder would still be a problem for us here. We don't have a Plow that we can regrow, so we would lose a lot of life. This is fine. This doesn't hit anything. Taking the Monarch is actually really scary because they have Shieldred in their deck. Shielder's Edict. Okay, we lose that. They're down to 3 cards. We've almost gotten them out of material. They draw a card. So they are refilling, but we will eventually connect. Okay. Don't have... What do we want to do here? So I think the first things first. We want a giant Murk. Yeah. I think... See, their graveyard doesn't do anything. They do have Cling to Dust that they can flash back. That's a very minor thing, but it might be worth going ahead and getting an Endurance on the table for that reason. So let's count our mana. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we do have enough to potentially deploy a Murktide. And let's see, that would take 5 cards. We have 10 cards in our graveyard. So we have exactly enough cards to bring back... No, wait, we're 1 short of bringing back Uro. But there's a decent chance we can find a fetch land here. We could Rakshas's Bargain and just find a Leyline of the Void. A Leyline Mining, and that would deal with that. And then we just play 2 creatures. I think that's fun. I'm going to do that. We're going to go blue, green. Oh, wait. Let's cast this. Blue, green, colorless, colorless. Okay. Let's get 4 cards here. Don't Bowmaster me. All right, no Bowmaster. That's great. Okay, and we got another Beanstalk, which I'm not going to cast. It's too much of a liability. Okay, so we just got cantrips. Actually, don't want the cantrips. I think I'm going to put them in the yard just to feed a larger Murk. I don't care about this Wasteland. That's something I can discard in my upkeep. Okay, so we play this out. We still don't have the material to Murk and do something else. Murk might draw us a Plow. That's no, we're not looking for a Plow. We're looking for Leyline. Yeah, and if we draw a Leyline, we're still going to have to pay 3 mana, so we won't be able to Leyline if we Murk. I think we do Murk and just hope that they don't find what they're looking for here. I mean, bringing back Uro is probably better because we gain life. Yeah, I'm just going to bring back Uro. Do I have another green source in my deck? I should have 1 more Trop, unless it's in the yard, and then I'll be very embarrassed. Okay, awesome. Let's go green, green, blue, blue. Uro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got all those stinky lands. Uro comes in. We can go ahead and plus Tamiyo again. They're fetching. They may have like a fatal push or something. We're giving them a lot of turns with the Monarch, but we're getting through we're accomplishing what we want to accomplish. I shouldn't be worried about my deck, the number of cards. I mean, I could definitely have Beanstalk, but like I think I'm more worried about Shieldry coming down than I am about decking myself. 9 minutes on the clock to win 2 games. It's going to be hard. Shorter's Edict? Yeah, sure. That's no problem. Okay, we draw trigger. I'm going to put the Lounge in. I guess I could put the Wasteland in and waste our Wasteland. I think it's better. And then I have Lounge for next turn. All right, and we can't... Oh, wait. We can just... So we have Force Up. Cards to discard. I don't really want to discard Endurance, but I think I just discard these two, sadly. I wanted to get Xander's Lounge out, but I've got enough mana at this point. I need to have Force Up for whatever they do this turn. And then once I start swinging with Uro, like if I can find a way to get rid of that, I can take the Monarchy. Double draw trigger. That feels good. Another bargain. Another force. Okay. They get another card, which could be like a Fatal Push or a Shield's Edict. And then we're just chilling, waiting even longer to try to get... Rumble could find us... I don't really like putting cards in my graveyard, but I think it's fine. I can Endurance myself later. There's the Leyline binding. I think we just bind this court. I'm not going to be fancy about it. Double draw trigger. I think I tapped wrong because I wanted to keep a white source up. Or a second green source. Yeah, let's go ahead and get rid of that. And I don't care about them being a Monarch for an extra turn. As long as I'm regaining life. If I Endurance myself, I will put cards back in my deck. So I guess it's fine to play that out. I don't have to discard anymore. They are opting to keep the Monarch. I think this is a turn where I just Uro to gain life. Put myself further out of reach. I want to keep this one. We have tons of life. I think we're fine. We have force for whatever they want to do. Turn we can Endurance ourselves. If I can find a Murk before I Endurance myself, then I'll have a lethal size Murk, and the game will end very quickly. I am worried about clock. That is the main thing I'm worried about for this game and the next game. I am seriously considering just removing life from the Loam from the deck just because of clock. It's very hard to make all the decisions you need to make with this deck. I mean, like somebody like Wiki, whom I played last round, you know, he might be able to pull that off, but I can't. And I'm playing very quickly and decisively. It's good to know about, but that's not what we're looking for. All right. And Endurance is like obligatory because you do draw so many cards and there are so many decisions to be made here. All right, you get a card. All right, Plow's great. Let's go ahead and just come in for a hug here. We'll take the Monarch, I guess. Now we are definitely going to need to Endurance ourselves. If I can find a Murk first, it'll be so good. I'm going to go ahead and brainstorm to try to find a Murk. Okay, we didn't find a Murk, but I found a second Endurance. I have green. Yeah, I have enough to deploy everything. So I'm just going to put this back. I'll put this back. And we'll just deploy double Endurance here. One for me and one for them. I should have done it during my turn. It doesn't really matter. 6 minutes on the clock to win 2 games. It's just like your clock is just ticking. Like I know, like if you're like a fast player, you may not relate. You may not empathize with what I'm talking about here, but go ahead and hit that. Go ahead and green, colorless, Endurance, cast. I'm going to target them. And then when they attempt to target, if they think to flashback, now I'm just going to green, colorless, Endurance myself. All right. If they had a stifle type effect, they could kill me there, but not in mono black. All right. Now we're just going to be attacking. We got 27 cards in our deck. We're doing fine. All right, let's go ahead and attack. We've got a lot of triggers. They are playing to the very real out of our clock. I'm just going to F6. No. Okay. I just need to get through this. I don't have any sort of counter magic. I'm just going to hope that opposition, yeah, it's fine. Doesn't matter. There's a force. That's great. I can't really F6 through the turn now that I have a force. They've got 2 cards in hand, 3 cards. They are very dead. I'll just plow it. Plowing doesn't put them out of lethal range. So we're just going to attack and then we're going to force whatever they cast or bind it. Yeah, we turned the corner there. That felt good. No thanks. A couple triggers. 5 minutes on the clock. I swear I'm playing as fast as I can. All right. I'll just Leyline on that. She's going to draw more cards and cause more triggers. Okay. Make sure they die this turn. They have 1 card in hand. It could be like a fatal push, but I have that. Yeah, under 5 minutes to finish the game. I'm sorry, friends. Like, I'm doing my best here. All right. Sideboarding. We've already made our deck as fast as we can make it. I don't think they're... Ground Seal doesn't do anything. Yeah, I haven't seen any reanimation effects or anything. I think we just run it back. I think Terminus is a good card, but it might help us. It might save us. Yeah, I'm going to leave it in there, even though it's kind of a time sink. It's only like a one-time time sink, unless you brainstorm it to the top of your deck, and then you have to deal with the Miracle Trigger twice. All right, this is a keep. I am keeping this double force hand with a Murk finish. Opponent is already mulliganed. So we're going to lead Mystic Sanctuary just to get it out of our hand. And I'm just going to go for like the quick protected Murk. That's really the only way I can win. I will not stop anything that Murk can stop. Okay, they thought seize us. Let's go to their turn. They took the Murk because they know that that's how we win quickly. So we have 1 more Murk in our deck. And I hope I don't draw it until I'm ready for it. Right, I'm going to go ahead and ponder while we have a window to do so. Endurance can also close the game pretty quickly, but I think we don't have white. I'm going to shuffle this. Yeah, we got the Endurance anyway, which is fine. Wasteland. We're probably not going to be casting Endurance this game. My opponent knows they just need to time me out, basically. I'll play that. I'd rather not play this until I have enough islands. I get to enough islands. I can't F6 because I have Force blue card. By the way, you keep hearing me say F6. I am going to go ahead and get the tap land. No, that's not correct. The thing that casts Endurance. Are they going to Oppo Agent here? Dark Ritual, play. I'll force anything they play, basically. I'm not on the Protect the Queen anymore. I'm going to try to survive. Bowmasters is too much of an indignity. They're down to 3 cards. Okay. Now we get a card. I'm just going to get to the lounge just because I have the binding in hand. I want to play this out. We're not going to be able to use Uro because I got the lounge, but we will be able to Leyline Mind, their next threat. Okay, there's a Wasteland, so we would have lost the Trop anyway. They're going to Thoughtseize, probably take... Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I wasn't going to be able to cast that for a while anyway. We're right around the time we're drawing a... Oh, I should go ahead and fetch now. Just minimize the risk. I'm getting server lag at the worst possible time. Come on, server. I just want to show you I've got like 600, almost 700 megabits internet connection. It's not my fault. Yeah, let's go in the yard. We want that for food, for Murk. Our hand is hemmed away. The one card that we don't mind being in our graveyard is the one that didn't go. Right, that's good. I can at least row. I'm going to get Savannah. All right, land. All right, I'm going to fetch around Oppo. We'll get another Trop just to ensure we can bring him back. And then we're going to start to smush. We have plenty of cards to bring him back. They can kill him over and over as long as they don't keep wasting us. They've wasted us twice. All right, they'll probably have a Bowmaster here. Blue, green. Uro comes back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leaving all the instants and sorceries in our yard. Draw trigger. Okay, we ripped a Brainstorm, which is pretty terrible, but they didn't have the Shielder's Edict. Or they didn't have the Bowmaster. We may get lucky here. We do have 2 minutes, which is enough to kill with Uro, even though he has a lot of triggers and stuff. And we can bring him back again and still maybe win. They hem us, that's fine. I don't even care about my hand, I just care about Uro smushing. All right, let's go ahead and come in for a hug here. Let's play the land. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. Rakshasa Bargain's fine. I think I any order shuffle just looking for Murk. I'm going to Brainstorm looking for Murk. I'm going to put back this and this. I'll play my land. All right, we're advancing our plan. So now we have a Plow on top and a Brainstorm to follow. So I think we can keep the path clear and we'll just keep bringing Uro back. If they keep killing us, they may have Cling to Dust. They could kill and then Cling. That's fine. It's going to basically make it so we can't ever get through with Uro because they'll create a new orc army every turn, but we are going to plow it. And I think I stacked that correctly. Let's go ahead and plow first. By attack, and I'm just going to F6. I know I have a... Oh, I want to un-F6. No. Okay, don't pass through the turn. Give me the option. I un-F6. I need a brainstorm here. It did not give me the option. Like, so if you click F6, it's just like till the end of the turn, basically. Coming back. Okay. So we go to land, which I'm going to play out. Opposition age is fine. It's just a blocker for a turn cycle. They're tapped out. I'm going to go ahead and draw like a bunch of cards here. Blue, blue, just in case I draw like a plow. Okay, we didn't. I'm just going to come in for a hug here, and I am going to go ahead and I can't do anything else. Yeah, no. Okay. They're letting me hit them to 3. That's fine. Wow, I can't believe we might win this game if they don't stall us. But it's our own damn fault. Like, my own damn fault, rather. Okay, can we find a Leyline binding? Another Oppo. Okay. I'm going to just do this just to see if I can find a plow. I should have actually Rakshasas instead. It's more cards. I'm just going to come in and I can hit them with endurance. Put it in. They get double block here. They want to buy time. But then my endurance plus force, and I think they're dead. I just block one at a time, but it's actually probably more efficient to, yeah, that's fine. Green, green, blue, endurance. I'll put their deck back in their yard just in case they use it for something. I can't F6 through their turn because I have force, but I just stop whatever they cast this turn, and then I think I win. Force that, and you are dead. I just need to go to my attack. Unless you have snuff out. Leyline binding's great. They said, GG's. Holy cow, we got them. They said, I should add land to this. It's not GG's until you've conceded. I'm going to stay focused. 24 seconds. Wow, that was touch and freaking go. Yeah, I mean, I've been trying my freaking hardest to play quickly. I promise you. Like, I was not getting up from my chair. I was not checking on my kids. I was not doing anything there. And it was just a straight, like, vanilla black, mid-range black deck. And it still took me almost my entire clock. So I just want to emphasize, if you're playtesting this, practice a lot. Like, the Dark BANT version, or the bug version, is much faster than this version. But this version is more powerful because it has access to Leyline of the Void. And I hope you're seeing so far that Rakshas's Bargain, not a bad card, even when you have to pay 4 mana for it. All right, let's go to the final round. We're 3-1. Losing only to the clocks and nearly losing one of those to the clock. All right, Snappy 72. We still have 25 minutes on our clock. They've mulliganed. They are a combo player and they've mulliganed. I'm going to mulligan this totally doable hand with the hope that I can... Yeah, there we go. This is much better. All right. So we're going to put back a bargain here just in case we need to do a recovery. Ponder. We're not going to have time to Rakshas's Bargain. We may be able to get Beanstalk up, and that is a way we can kind of go over the top of a combo deck. I would love to not have to be sweating my clock this final game if we're up against Oops or something. Okay. So that is not Oops. This could still be like Doomsday. I'm going to... Yeah, I mean, the only way I'm getting to a Beanstalk next turn is... And a tempo deck probably wouldn't mold a 5. That is probably not relevant against them. I'm going to put it in the yard. Now they know a lot about our deck. They know we're not bug beans. They said love the videos. Okay, so they have a Surveil end step. So it's not an end step into them. That was one of the things I was worried about when I played the Hedge Maze instead of playing the Strand. I am going to play in a Daze here. Oh no. Are they on tempo? What is this? What tempo deck molds to 5? Just an unlucky. Like, I've molded to 5 many times playing blue-black tempo. If they're on blue-black tempo, though, we've got some problems. We probably had to go get Basic Island and Ponder to find a second land and put our Beanstalk plan on pause. Okay. Land, please. All right. What is the line? 60% of the time. It works every time. All right. So we are... Yeah, like, this gets under Bowmasters... Oh my goodness, put it in my belly. Get in my belly. That's what they say, right? I don't want to say that, put it in my veins just because it's like triggering. Like, if anybody out there is like recovering intravenous drug user, I don't want to like trigger them. But Yeah, that's what Boston Roll says. Okay, so we do have to shuffle away one of these lands, but I'm fine with it. I will. Yeah, I think we just accept that they could totally Bowmaster us here. If they daze us, it's not the end of the world. All right, so I think we just get a Tundra here and start building out our colors. We do have 2 more fetches, so that Wasteland wasn't particularly impactful, thankfully, just because we got lucky. Our opponent got unlucky, and we're getting super lucky. They're thinking about Bowmastering us. Yeah, if they Bowmaster, I think oh, wow, Esper. Snappy's after my own heart here. I don't want to deal with this, and I've got another Bowmaster. Man, like, we throw away some value. We fetch. We're drawing wild. If they daze this Force, I'll be so sad. Yeah, I'm just going to let this happen. And I'm going to try to power through it with removal. I'm playing a dangerous game. But if they're playing white, they're like a little bit more control-y build, and they'll probably be less balls to the wall. But now, if they do have Kaito, I'll be very sad. That's the way we can lose. Okay, they're attacking without playing a land. So the effects of mulling to 5. All right, so we're at 14. Just need a Plow or a Leyline Binding, and I can set myself free here. Ponder. It's cool that we get another tempo matchup to end out. I do like tempo as an archetype. I used to hate it. I used to be like whining all the time. This should ban this, blah, blah, blah. But like, I've come around to respect the fact that like a good control player doesn't always get got by like a good tempo player. But like it's like, I think we're favored slightly. It's a slight favoring. Okay. Options. I can just go up the Beanstalk again and take all the risk. Don't really have anything else to do here. I think I do that. And then next turn, I can fetch my other card at the end step. Yeah, this is a dangerous game, but I think this is correct. They're gonna get another trigger. We're gonna take 4 next turn. We'll drop to 9. But again, we're playing like Uro. We do have life gain in our deck, which gives me a little bit more bluster. Brainstorm. I would love for them to like force this because I don't really care about this. I just wanted to do something with my mana to move the game forward. I'm actually really scared if this resolves of forcing stuff. All right, sure. Yeah, I mean, that might seem crazy, but like, that's not what this is about. This is about buying time. Once we remove this Bowmaster, we'll be in a good position. We got a 2-for-1 there. They pitched a Brainstorm. Yeah. So the main thing I'm fearing here is like a Wasteland because this is our one and only. Okay, yeah, so we do get another turn after this. So we're going to Rakshas's Bargain. This is going to draw a trigger. They're going to go up. We might be able to find a Plow, and they may not have a daze. So then next turn we're gonna take one immediately, and we're gonna get hit for 4. I'm gonna pay 1 life now. I'm gonna go ahead and get the ETB tapped Xander Lounge, Grixis Lounge, I like to call it. Okay. So I think the correct play is just to hold the land and see what we find. But yeah, if they daze it, it's bad news. So I'll play this out. So yeah, we're stepping into the breach here, growing their army. But this is something I want to do during my turn, just to decrease the number of cards they get to look at. Every card they get to look at is a potential daze that would, stop our Bowmaster. Oh no! And we don't have an answer to this. Are we dead? If we find Leyline Binding, we could actually bind the Orc army, which would be pathetic. So we drew a Loam, which is not good. We're taking a ping, 2 pings. Okay, they're attacking us for 7, and we're at 7. So this has to find a Plow, Leyline Binding, and Force. We put the Uro in the bin. Okay, let's think about this. I think we have to take the Force. We have to cast the Leyline here just to get rid of the Orc army. And then we have to somehow survive with Uro. Yeah, they'll only be able to attack us for 2, but we are going to draw a trigger. So I'm going to take the Force and the Leyline Binding. Uro goes to the yard. This is why it's better than stock up, by the way. Now we have an Uro in the yard, which is pretty freaking sweet. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. This is extremely dangerous. We take 2 pings. They hit us for 3. Then we Uro. We are so screwed. We drew a Endurance, which, again, like it's called Tempo because it restricts your mana, and they win through Tempo, and they certainly have Tempo here. We take the only play that helps us survive. Next turn we bring back Uro. We take 3. We create a double orc army. So we drop to 3. I think we might be able to very narrowly survive, but not if we have to cast this Force of Will. Just don't have anything, please. This is a Murktide. Yeah, it's just too much to overpower. Yeah, because I forced there. We take 2 immediately, and then Uro can't save us anymore. Yeah, that was brutal. Okay, so they went on a mold of 5 against us. My goodness. All right. So what's coming in? Well, Carpet's coming in. I think this is a Terminus and a Prismatic Ending. Like Terminus would have been great there. Actually, Terminus would have saved us. Cards that come out, I don't waste. Tempo decks. I don't try to waste lock of them. And again, I am strongly considering just taking these out just for clock. I think they're good. A lot of times if your opponent has like Caracas or Maze of Ith, you just can't win. But I think if we take these out and we increase the number of endurances, that might be better. And then these just become regular lands. We can get rid of Lorien Revealed, which I am really only playing as a concession to the fact that Moon Stompy is a very tough matchup. Yeah, I didn't see any reason to bring in Ground Seal. Lavinia's not good. Like she's really designed for like A-cast style decks that have a lot of 0 drops. And yeah, it's a trap to bring her in a lot of other matchups. Okay, so we need to cut 1 more card. I don't really see anything else to cut. I did create a sideboard guide, but I made some changes. So if you look at the sideboard guide in the video description, it is going to be slightly different from what I'm ultimately doing here. We could not bring in Terminus, but I think Terminus is so good just because they're going to, they're trying to end the game quickly, and they're probably going to have to play into our sweeper. I think I just take out a Tamiyo. Like, that's another thing is there's tension between Tamiyo and the rest of the cards of the deck. Tamiyo's really just there. Okay, so my opponent I said, great content. Always trying to get the edge on the up and coming decks in Legacy. And I would certainly consider this one of the up and coming, like the BANT version, as well as so this is a trap hand. We can't keep this Wasteland deck. I'm not going to go get a basic island and hope that a Brainstorm gets us there. This is better. So this has turn 2 Beanstalk. I think Leyline is the card that goes back. Uro is quite good against them. Rakshasa pitches the Force. Yeah, this is a great mold of 5. And we can open. I'm going to open with this just because if they don't have a Wasteland, I'm going to risk it and Surveil just to get the Surveil out of my deck. If you know one thing about Be Excellent, sorry, I'm going to talk to myself in the awkward third person. If you know one thing about Be Excellent is that he does not like ETB tap lands. All right. Despite the fact that he's playing 3 of them. Yeah. Hedge Maze here. We did not get Stifled, which is a card that some of these decks are playing. I mean, we have the combo that we could even play around. I mean, do we just want to Tamiyo and start going to the moon? I kind of want to just do that. And my reasoning is like, okay, they daze it. No big deal. We've got a Tamiyo on the table and we are replaying the previous round. They're going to be less likely to waste us if we have Tamiyo on the table. They Fatal Push it. I doubt Fatal Push is in their deck, frankly. Let's just do it. I don't like brainstorming aggro like this, and it could come to bite us. It looks like they are just going to daze this. Or Plow. Okay, so they do have Plow in their deck, and that was a failed Gambit, but that is still a 1-for-1. This sucks pretty badly, actually, if they have a Wasteland. I'm going to put these 2 back. Yeah, that is unfortunate. So we took our shot at being fancy, and I forgot that they had white. It makes sense to keep Plowing. It doesn't make sense to keep... Okay, now they have Bowmaster Mana. But I still need to draw through these cards. I'm not going to chill. And now they're going to see that we don't have any follow-up land, and they're going to start wasting. So this is how you lose to tempo. Like a skilled tempo opponent is going to take apart a control player that's getting out over their skis with bad plays. Again, sorry, my excellent friends. That was certainly in hindsight, like thinking, oh yeah, they have freaking Plow on their deck. Like they wouldn't necessarily take that out against the Uro, but you would take out Fatal Push probably. Okay, so yeah, we're just chilling. If we find another land and they don't find a waste, then we have Uro. They probably have 4 wastes in their deck though. Okay, they don't have one. That's great for us. Oh no, that's not good. All right. So we're on a serious clock here. They can draw cards. They've got a Bowmaster on deck that they can ping us with and grow their army. Yeah, this is a disaster. If we don't find a land here, I might just concede because we're under so much pressure and we have nothing going on in our hand. I think we can see this. Yep. Okay. I'm just going to wish Snappy GG's WP. Yeah, they said GG's. So that was last loss was the only round that was embarrassing. Everything else was fine. Let's go back to the list and take a look. So here's the list. Again, what I'm thinking is speeding up the deck in terms of clock. The main problem, if you take out the Loam, is like you don't really have a lot of incentive to play Rumble, which Rumble is really there to get stuff in your graveyard. And if we're taking out that, then are we going to be able to fill up our graveyard enough for Uro and Murk? This does put 2 cards in the graveyard, but that's it. And this is where Bug Beans has a strength in that it's playing Witherbloom Command, which is quite good. Witherbloom Command deals with a lot of things. So one option. I'm going to brew real quick and I'll be right back. I'm not going to make you wait while I click around. All right, we're back. And this is what I came up with. It's just like a pure greed pile deck. Okay, so let's talk through it. So first of all, you're going to notice that there's no basic island in here because this is a 4-color deck. And frankly, like as much as I love being able to fetch basic island and cantrip into action, I don't think we had that luxury. I do want to keep the Wastelands because they pair really well with Witherbloom Command. And this is the tech that we're bringing in. This is good against a lot of stuff. It's good against Chalice. It's good against Flip Tamiyo. It's good against Bowmasters, which is one of the most scary things that we can face. And we face it in 2 rounds. And it's just good at like filling up the graveyard so that our Mercs and our Uros can arrive early. I also love Thoughtseize right now. I think it's really strong. And I didn't love being completely dependent on having my black mana out in order to be able to Leyline bind inexpensively. So instead of playing an ETB tap land, Xander's Lounge, we're just playing 4 colors, but so we can get Leyline down to 2 mana. But I think it's still a good spell at 2 mana. I don't think you need to force a 3rd color that you're not even using into your deck to be able to do that. And if you look at the green count and the blue count, which I have broken out in here over on Moxfield, let me show you. So if we look, I'm going to make this bigger for you. We can see that we have only 15 pure blue cards, but we have Uro and Rakshasa, which pushes the total to 21, which is like really low. But we also have a ton of green cards. We got 6 green cards plus 6, so we've got 12. Actually, all these are green, so we've got 14, which means that we're going to pretty reliably be able to pitch cast Endurance. And I could do the math on it, but I think it's like 60 or 70% of the time. If you have an Endurance in your hand, you're also going to have another green card you can pitch. And then the mana base. Here, let me go back here. But I just wanted to show you the breakout. Like there are really only 2 pure black cards in Thoughtseize. And then there are the Witherbloom commands. But Rakshasa's Bargain is, more easily castable at 3 mana. So we're playing 2 Tundras. So we have total 3 white sources, which is low. Frankly, like there could be a situation where Delver wastes you off white. And the idea is like if you start to get low on white, you just Witherbloom a white source back rather than returning one of your 9 fetch lands. So this is a 9 fetch land, 9 fetchable, 3 Wasteland deck. The Hedge Maze as our Surveil land. So the reason, again, we're playing these Wastelands, they're basically spells. And if you look at the sideboard guide, they always come out. So let's talk about some of the different matchups. Oh, and I'll just really quickly before I jump to that. So this is still for Beanstalk. I believe in 4 Beanstalk. I know Pokemoki and by extension, like Bosch and Roll and a lot of people have been playing 3, but I really do believe in 4 Beanstalk. I think it's a very powerful thing to be doing in Legacy. And our deck has, let's see, 2, 5, 9, 13 ways of triggering it. That's quite good. We don't have to play Lorien Revealed, which I never really liked Lorien Revealed. I always just kind of grudgingly jammed it in there. We just don't have an option against Moonstompy. What we're going to be playing against Moonstompy instead is just more Force of Vigor because it accomplishes the same thing. It gets us out from under the Blood Moon, and we just have to kind of wait until we draw it, or we keep a hand that has it in addition to Force of Will or Force of Negation. So we're going to go to 11 forces against Moonstompy, which is crazy. And then the other thing is tempo. I think this deck is mana hungry enough that just having 3 carpets is fine because we can just basically play it as a land. We cut our 3 Wastelands and we just bring these carpets in, and boom, it's a clean swap. And then we do have 5 green sources. Green. This is mainly a blue-green deck that is barely splashing black and splashing white for 8 cards. So yeah, again, this is a greed pile, and we are going to encounter situations where we face, back to basics or Wasteland or Blood Moon, and hopefully we can overwhelm with 21 lands plus 2 kind of virtual lands in Witherbloom. that's a big air quote around the virtual land part. But yeah, like I still want to keep Wasteland in. I can totally understand people just saying, oh, I'm not going to play any Wastelands if I'm going to be playing 4 colors. That seems crazy. Why not play a basic island? Well, basic island, if you think about it, how much it sets you back to play a basic island, it really doesn't accomplish much at all other than like, okay, you don't keep 1-landers, first of all. So where you would need to do this. Surveil land digs you for a second land in the event that but I'm just not going to keep 1-landers unless they have carpet and I have a force to protect it. That's just how I'm going to roll here. We don't have to worry about Harbinger of the Seas turning everything blue because we can still win on just blue with Murktide, and it doesn't necessarily shut off our cantrips that can dig for Murktide. We can still pitch cast stuff. And if we're up against a Harbinger of the Seas deck and carpet comes out, then we have our second color. Everything can be cast with 2 colors. This just costs a little bit more to cast with 2 colors. So assuming we wouldn't necessarily be able to cast Witherbloom under Blood Moon, but we should be able to. And Witherbloom is really the thing that wedges us into, okay, we really can't play basics. Because to be able to serve the multiple masters of Witherbloom Command and Uro and Rakshasa's Bargain and still be able to cast our white spells, we do need to have basically mono dual lands as our mana base. So the sideboard guide real quick, and this will be the next video I do. So oops. We bring out 4 Plow, bring in 3 Leyline, or we board out 3 Leyline. Sorry, we're not playing Leyline of the Void. I know a lot of people play that, but I don't want a card that is so situational. And then we have, we're just bringing in the 4 Force Negations, the 2 Ground Seal. I went up to 2 just because it is nice to have a little bit of extra graveyard disruption in addition to the 2 main deck Endurances, and 1 Lavinia because she's just insane against combo decks like this. Omnitell. We just remove out our Plows and we bring in Witherbloom is not good against them. Wasteland is not good at them. But we do have these cards that we can bring in, which are Lavinia. We can bring in a single Force and Vigor, which if there's a situation where they put in the Omniscience, we could Vigor it real quick before they could potentially remove it. Not as reliable, but Witherbloom does nothing against their deck. And Wasteland pretty much does nothing. And then Blue-Black Tempo, we just take out the 3 Wastelands, we bring in the 3 Carpets. Real quick, I'll go to the Delver, which is very similar, except we're also taking out the Thoughtseize, we're bringing in 2 Hydros. Now, you'll note that I almost always play 3 Hydroblast effects, but I'm going down to 2 here because we can't reliably use Hydro under a Blood Moon to get rid of the Blood Moon because we don't have a basic island. So it does dampen the usefulness of this, but there are 4 matchups here where I bring in the Hydroblast. They're still a very good card. Moon Stompy, this is the big one that I think is the nightmare matchup for us. It's a rough matchup for any multicolor deck. And as you know, I like to play lots of colors in my decks. Usually not 4. So we take out the Ponders because they die to Chalice. And a lot of people might think that's not very good, but Ponder is not very good, especially under a Trinisphere. It doesn't do anything to flip Tamiyo. It doesn't do anything to fix our hand. Since we're playing 21 lands, we have a higher likelihood of drawing in a land anyway. So Ponder is kind of part of your mana base. We're taking out the Wastelands, which reduces back down to 18. But I don't think wasting Moon Stompy is a very productive strategy. They have so many lands that just take care of themselves and stuff. And what you really want to do is attack their hands. And so we have the Thoughtseize for that. And then we bring in the Force of Negations, the Force of Vigors, and the Hydroblast. And then we go down to Reanimator. And if they're a mono black Reanimator, then we just take out the Plows. Some of them. We leave a couple just in case they have, Bowmaster and Douthie and things like that. But we bring in the Force Negations and we bring in the 2 Ground Seals. And then if we face Jeskai, which we did in this league, we just remove our Plows. We bring in 2 Hydroblasts, 2 Carpets, and call it a day. Actually, I think what I would also do, I would probably take out, I'd probably do this, -3 Wasteland instead. Wasteland is really bad against them. They do occasionally have lands, but it's just not very good. And then we can leave in 2 Plows. And we can go all the way up to 3 Carpets. And this is really good if they're trying to back to basics you, because their mana base will produce enough colors. They can be pretty, when we were up against Wiki, They grabbed, I think, 2 plains and a mountain, so that they were really only giving us a little mana off our carpet, but excuse me, still pretty good. So yeah, this is what I'm going to play in the next video. So stay tuned for the next video on the channel. I need to go buy a Force of Vigor. They're pretty expensive on MTGO, but I feel pretty confident that Force of Vigor is a good card with all the artifact type decks floating around right now, and I feel like we have enough green to support it. So again, to look at the deck we played today, this is a good option. The main tension was just it's slow as hell, and that's just what you're going to face with Loam on MTGO. In paper, I don't think Loam's a problem at all. But on MTGO, it's like every single time you draw, it's a trigger, and it's just one more thing when you're trying to like click around and stuff like that. So I don't think that Rumble and Loam, outside of like a dedicated lands deck, or if you're just an extremely fast, decisive player, and I would like to say that like I think people who are fast and decisive are either very experienced or they're very they're probably playing suboptimally and missing a lot of lines, because there are a lot of things to consider when you're playing a control deck like this. But I do believe that extremely capable, experienced pilots like Wiki, whom we faced, they can play fast, and they can probably pilot a deck like this faster than I can. But it is going to be an issue. So just note that like losing to time is no fun for anybody. It's not fun to win on time, and I don't like to subject my opponents to that either. It makes me feel guilty. So yeah, like I'm going to try not to go to time anymore. Man, that mono black aggro deck that we nearly went to time against, that was, I was cringing the entire time. Anyway, I had a fun league. I hope you learned a lot from this league. I think I've made a decent argument that Leyline Binding and Plow are worth going into white for. You don't just have to play Dark BANT, but if you're going to play a BANT style deck, you still want to max out on like the powerful green spells. And yeah, like it can be done. We did get through the league with Xander's Lounge as our sole Black Source and our sole thing to turn on Leyline Binding, and it was okay. It wasn't terrible. But this card is necessarily an ETB tap land, and it will get wasted, and then you'll be sitting around paying 4 mana for your Rakshasas bargains and 3 mana for your Leyline Bindings for the rest of the game, and it kind of sucks. So anyway, hope you had fun. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.